become, if he comes on, the youngest player ever to appear in the FA Cup final. He was 17 in January, 17 and 119 days, beating Paul Allen, who was 17 and 137 days when he played for West Ham. It is remarkable that no one's picked up on that, Mark.
Apart from you, of course, which hasn't come as a shock. You sure you got the days and the years right, haven't you?
I'm all over the place with that. Anyway, a couple of people I just want to mention in Millwall history here, really, recent history. The late Ray Harford, a very, very good coach who brought a lot of these young players through when he was at the Den. Yeah. And Mark McGee, who was dismissed in October when Dennis Wise took over, but he's taken Brighton into the playoff final.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, we lost Ray Harford, a dear old friend to nearly everybody in football, and he's a sad, sad loss. Hopefully, maybe he might be watching upstairs today, we think.
Now then, Jeff Winter. His last match at senior football, reached the retirement age, and he hadn't used the red card much this season until he sent off Gary Neville in the FA Cup against Manchester City, and until he went to Millwall and sent off the West Ham goalkeeper and awarded Millwall 2 penalties, both of which they missed. So he's got a bit of history with these two teams, Jeff Winter. It's his farewell appearance today. That's in Welsh, the bottom line, of course, and it translated, it says what's above it, basically. Well, we might like them today. Let's try and like them. The two assistant referees, Tony Green, the senior man, and Roger East, and the fourth official, Matt Masites. Well, the day now has become a little overcast. We had bright sunshine all morning. The pitch has been relayed in the last couple of weeks. It's been heavily watered. It's from here, it looks a good playing surface, Mark.
They tell me, John, that the groundsman was actually cutting the pitch at midnight last night.
When you were having your last drink, that was it?
No, I've been in bed 3 hours by then.
Good boy. OK, so Millwall are going to kick off. Blue shirts, blue shorts. Manchester United in their traditional colours of red, and they're playing from the right in the first half. And it's Matt Lawrence for Millwall to Marvin Elliott. I know they're unfamiliar names, but it's cup final day, and that's part of the magic of it. Cahill, number 4. And now Livermore to Ryan, the left back, and Sweeney, who'll start wide left for Millwall. They're not going to give Manchester United a touch here, are they? They are now. It's Keane. This is Sylvester. Of course, we're keeping an eye on Keane and Wise because they both had hamstring trouble and passed fitness tests this week. Here's Sweeney. Now Ryan. Well, Neil Harris has dropped back at the moment. There's really nobody up there for Millwall. Here's Harris. No, it's going to be Sylvester getting in the way, and then Fletcher. Trying to get past around. There's no surprise in the formations here, Mark, is there?
No, there's absolutely none, John. I know it's very early. It's a nice bright start by Millwall. I think nearly every outfield player's had a touch. They're all quite confident on the ball, and at the moment the passing's very, very good.
Yes, well, Ray Wilkins, who's in charge on the bench, of course, with Wise on the field, will be very pleased with the way they've started. There's Ray. Scored a goal in a cup final for Manchester United in the pre-Ferguson era. Now then, Van Nistelrooy in the centre, Scholes to his right, Giggs to his left as Keane gets the ball for Manchester United. Ronaldo. This is Neville. Giggs over on the right, playing in his native city, Cardiff, has got a free kick.
Yeah, I think the decision was actually made by the referee's assistant. Got absolutely nothing on the ball, didn't even the ball.
Well, there's an opportunity if Giggs wishes to curl this in with his left foot from there. Wes Brown has come forward. Sylvester's there as well. Is this rehearsed? It goes in and it's headed away in the end by Dennis Wise.
Well, it was rehearsed, wasn't it? It was actually a poor delivery, and no matter how many games you commentate on, you're always thinking miss the first man, and more often than not, people don't seem to anymore.
Well, he wasn't very tall, was he? It was Wise. Here's Keane. Fletcher's getting a bit of the ball in the centre of the field here, number 24, but it's a poor pass, and this is Ryan. Well, they don't want to be messing about there. Elliott. Oh, Keane beat Wise there. That could be key. Scholes. Ronaldo. Van Nistelrooy!
Well, it's a great move by Manchester United, wasn't it? Starting with a tackle, Keane on Wise, most definitely. The ball moved 2 times over to Ronaldo. Decent as well supply. Got to be very, very careful, Millwall. They had the ball, John, and in the end the right back just gave it away, and it was just a sign for Manchester United to come forward and make the first chance in the game.
Yeah, Van Nistelrooy got there just before Matt Lawrence. Free kick to Millwall now. This is their first chance to really probe into Manchester United territory. And I think Darren Ward will go up for this, number 12. He's, in the games I've seen for Millwall, he's usually been the one, rather than Lawrence, who's got himself into a scoring position. Harris makes an early run, they've checked again. Wise to take, of course. Memories of Wimbledon. And the free kick that led to the Laurie Sanchez goal. Here's... well, they're both falling over in the centre circle, Wise and Van Nistelrooy. Eiffel. Fletcher. Quite a compliment to the Scottish international that he's been chosen ahead of people like Phil Neville and Nicky Butt, who of course are in the England party. Ronaldo. And Jemba, he's on the bench. No place at all for Cleverson, who played in the World Cup final. John O'Shea tangling with Paul Eiffel, and Jeff Winter's given the free kick to Manchester United.
Well, he's given the free kick to Manchester United because he alleged that Eiffel had his foot up, but Eiffel won the ball.
Well, here's Neville. Fletcher. Ronaldo. Goals. Millwall have pulled everybody back behind the ball. This is Keane. Neville. Giggs in the centre with Van Nistelrooy. Fletcher. This is patient build-up by Manchester United. Tackled by Cahill, but it went straight to Fletcher. And that's too strong for Ronaldo.
You just worry a little bit for Millwall at the moment, when Manchester United have the ball in central midfield, that they're actually sat very, very deep, and they just allow them to string the passes together.
So Alex Ferguson has retained his interest in racing. He was keen to see the 2:30 today. I think he had a horse running. Sort of thing managers do, isn't it, half an hour before the cup final?
No pressure.
He's so experienced, isn't he? He's won the FA Cup more than any other manager. this one-up system, Mark, it really means the midfield players have got to get up and support that lone striker, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, but not only that, I mean, the service to the lone striker has to be perfect.
This is Fletcher. There's an appeal for a free kick by Millwall, waved away by referee Winter. This is Ronaldo. The step-over trick. And the check back. And Ryan Giggs and Paul Scholes. O'Shea. In it goes from Sylvestre. That's an easy one for Andy Marshall. The Millwall goalkeeper actually could be playing his last game for the club, Andy Marshall. His contract only till the end of the season, and also Robbie Ryan, the left back, is out of contract and may not sign again. Here's Cahill, looking for Harris. Well, Millwall have, if it's the correct way of putting it, have survived the first 9 minutes. Unscathed. Here's Keane. This boy Elliott, who really is a midfield player by definition. He's been switched to right back because of the injury to Muscat, and also Andy Roberts, who was injured and is out of the final. Here's Fletcher to Scholes.
I'm not sure whether you saw it, but it was a great run by Van Nistelrooy when Fletcher had the ball. Fletcher did a nice little change of pace and direction away from the Millwall midfield. A great run by Van Nistelrooy, and just go back to the chance before for Scholes. Great play by Cristiano Ronaldo. He beat Robbie Ryan here, and then it's the old back of the foot. It's brilliant. And just a nice flick on by Keane. You get a fancied goal from that position.
Well, he's got no nerves, that's for sure, has he? If he tricks like that in the first 10 minutes of a cup final, eh?
Maybe he knows it's a showpiece.
Let's hope we get a bit more of it. Here's Eiffel. Oh, offside, Neil Harris. Assistant referee Tony Green on the near side. Oh, is that a bit tight?
It was tight, but it was off, John. Just.
This is Neville. Bit of wayward passing there from the deposed champions. 5 years since they've been in the cup final, Manchester United. Didn't play in the competition at all 1 year, did they? It's hooked up by Wes Brown. That was a shove in the back by, I just think, Mark, we'll go back to it in a minute. I've got a feeling, you know, that was a very tight call, that offside on Harris.
Well, yeah, well...
You may be right, he probably was just... We'll have a look at it in a minute. Anyway, it's a free kick to Manchester United. Let's deal with what's going on first. And Keane has gone right up here onto the edge of the area, alongside Van Nistelrooy. This is Scholes. Fletcher with O'Shea to his left. Van Nistelrooy just moving into a position in the centre. And O'Shea goes again. Eiffel is the defender here. It's a goal kick. Well, this is the moment that the flag went up, and I'm looking at Harris trying to see the line on the grass. There's no daylight there.
No, there isn't. He was on. Just... Mind you, he did have an awful long way to go to goal.
Yes, he did.
I mean, it doesn't make it right, but...
No. Those lines on the grass are quite useful, aren't they?
I'm sure that Grantham didn't think so last night at midnight.
Well, there isn't really a lot of shape to the game just at the moment. Manchester United still to really impose themselves. Working the ball out of play. Dennis Wise is just telling Elliott to delay for a moment and not throw it square. but he threw it straight to Fletcher. Here's Scholes. Harris.
Well, this will suit Millwall, certainly. Harris trying to engineer a corner for his team, but Manchester United, the last 2 or 3 times in possession, have been guilty of wasting the ball, which, you know, Millwall has sat in there, John. We know they've got Wise in front of the back 4 and another bank of 4 in front of that. At the moment, they're saying to Manchester United, well, come on then, come and break us down if you can. Well,
it's different to last week. They got off to a real flyer in their last league game at Villa Park. I was there and they were 2 up in next to no time, but not today. Here's Van Nistelrooy. Both teams' league form a little bit fitful since the semi-final. Here's Ronaldo. Keane. Good running by Giggs here. Ryan Giggs. Oh, now, did you think the keeper was going to catch him for a minute there?
Well, 2 things. I thought the goalkeeper was going to catch him, and I was absolutely certain if he did, that Ryan Giggs was going to fall over. And of course, neither happened. It's a great ball from Keane in the back of the central defenders for Millwall, and tell you what, you've been very, very honest, Ryan Giggs.
Yeah, let's say that, because often we've said players go down at the slightest provocation. He just kept on going, thinking, I suppose, he could reach the ball. Bit of a let-off, perhaps, for Andy Marshall. This is aimed at Van Nistelrooy, and Ward, he needed Lawrence to step in when he thought it was going through to his goalkeeper, Darren Ward.
Well, 2 diagonal balls in around the back of Millwall have caused them problems.
This is Elliott. Wise. Scholes, tiny bit lucky to be here, Mark. He was yellow carded against Chelsea and the referee went to his pocket for a second offence and then didn't show the card, and then Ferguson took him off.
Yeah, I'm sure Millwall aren't particularly delighted about that, are
they? Ward is forward again here, getting in amongst it. Here's Giggs. Scholes. Good tackle by Lawrence. O'Shea. Neville. Ronaldo. Good move by O'Shea. Van Nistelrooy, edge of the area. Bit of a tangle. O'Shea's still there, so is Scholes. Sylvester, and now Ward. It's all a bit scrappy in there. This is Livermore finding Sweeney, who's a natural winger. When he gets moving, he can use either foot, and he gets a free kick. Takes it quickly. Cahill. Eiffel in the centre with Harris. Harris fell. And it's Roy Keane in his own 6-yard box. Ronaldo, he's so far been the most threatening player. Oh, look at this. Free kick. They couldn't. Oh, Wise and Ronaldo have tangled a little bit here. Oh, and there's going to be... Oh, and why did Fletcher go pushing in there? Fletcher, who was sent off last week for the second time this season, is now in trouble again. He raised his hands, but it had nothing to do with him.
No, I should just staying out of it. At first, Manchester United were agitated because the referee didn't play advantage, because Fletcher had actually... The ball had gone, from Ronaldo, and Manchester United thought they were away. As you rightly say, why Fletcher then wants to get involved, and now Dennis Wise, of course. You do wonder.
Well, they're both being spoken to. Wise, who's got a bit of history against Manchester United, he's tangled with Keane in the past, and Gary Neville putting a calming hand on the shoulder of Fletcher there. This is how it all... Well, Wise got his hands round Van Nistelrooy's face and then tried to pick him up.
Attention, please.
Yeah.
Attention, please. Can I ask
I think he just put his hands on Ronaldo's face.
As much as possible.
Nothing much in that, John.
Think of the people behind you and be shaking. Thank you.
Well, it's a free kick to Manchester United to be taken, it would seem, by Giggs. Millwall have got everybody back behind the ball, but Ronaldo's running up as well. And that is Ronaldo. Oh, and Sylvestre was right in the 6-yard box looking for a late touch.
Well, he gambled, didn't he? It wasn't a bad strike by Ronaldo, unfortunately not on target. A little bit wider, Sylvestre would have got on the end of it.
Did you think Jeff Winter handled that situation?
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
I mean, he mentioned the fact it's his last game. He won't want to send somebody off on his last game, unless, of course, the situation demands.
Well, we hope it doesn't. There's only ever been one sending off in an FA Cup final. Now then, here's Giggs. Oh, a good back heel by Fletcher to Giggs. Oh, and Scholes was coming in just in time there. David Livermore got a clearance in.
It's great play, isn't it, by Fletcher here, the back heel. Giggs hit it very, very early, and great run by Scholes, but well done to Livermore, trailing back from midfield.
Ronaldo will take the corner. Marshall is complaining about interference from Van Nistelrooy. There's all sorts going on in the 6-yard box. Jeff Winter's going to have to sort this out before they take the corner. Marshall and Van Nistelrooy are having an argument here. And Sylvestre's forward for the corner, and still it's going on. Keane is in there too, so is Wes Brown. Whistle's gone. Free kick. Now we're back to Jens Lehmann again here, aren't we? This is they're trying to unsettle the goalkeeper by jostling before the kick's taken.
Yeah, it's a difficult situation for the goalkeeper to be in. Obviously, it's just, well, after you, Claude, really. And I can't really see what Van Nistelrooy's done. I don't think he seemed to do anything wrong there.
I think he was just trying to lose his marker, Lawrence.
Well, you're allowed to stand in front of the goalkeeper. It's the laws of the game.
There you go. 21 minutes. The First Division team hold their own. Scholes. Keane. This is Giggs. Oh, well played, Elliott. Read that well. But then, didn't do so well. This is O'Shea. Keane on the volley. Roy Keane! Oh, what a good save by Andy Marshall. That was going in the top corner for sure.
Absolutely brilliant save. It just set up lovely for Keane, who struck it. You know, with great precision, and it's a marvellous, marvellous save, that.
Well, more of that in a minute when they've taken the corner, but if Roy Keane had scored in his 6th FA Cup final, it would have been a good story, but Andy Marshall is a story in himself. It's a corner to be taken by Giggs. Van Nistelrooy's on the line again. Here comes Sylvestre. A header away by Tim Cahill. Back in it goes again by Giggs. Keane. Ronaldo. And still. And Dennis Wise got to him, it's a corner.
There's no doubt he's the biggest threat to Millwall at the moment, Ronaldo. What he's doing, just picking the ball up and running at people, and he's committing defenders all the time.
Well, the three men from the back, Brown makes the first run, but again they don't clear the first defender.
I think from Manchester United's attacking point of view, if they can also get Giggs doing a la Ronaldo at the moment, it will really stretch Millwall, both flanks.
Well, as of this moment, the two wingers have switched. Ronaldo's on the left and Giggs is on the right. This is O'Shea. Harris. Well, if he's back there, Millwall won't have anybody much up front, I feel. And Harris switched over there. Harris got the free kick. But without Danny Dichio, there's no height up there. The best header probably is the midfield player, Cahill. Well, this is the shot mark.
Sure, it's a great strike, and I'm sure when that leaves Keane's right foot, he thinks it's in. It's a brilliant save by Marshall, brilliant.
Marshall came from Ipswich in January on an initial loan when Tony Warner was injured, and he's taken that free kick himself, and Ward is up there for Millwall here. His loan period officially ended, but Wise signed him on a contract to enable him to play in the FA Cup final. But it's only till the end of the season. Here's Livermore for Millwall. He wants to try and get Sweeney away. He hasn't had a run at Gary Neville yet, the left winger. And he's not going to get one now either. Bad kick by Tim Howard. This is Cahill. Sweeney. Ryan. Nice little pass into Harris. He's got Brown with him. Cahill's in the centre. Eiffel on the near post. Corner.
Good tackle as well. I think it's Mikhail Silvestre. If he doesn't get that right, John, it's a penalty. But in the end, it's a very, very, very good tackle.
Well, now they've got Lawrence and Ward going forward, Millwall. Lawrence has gone into the near post area. Darren Ward coming from the penalty spot. Played short to Wise. And back to Sweeney again. Oh, and no flag. Absolutely no flag. Tim Cahill in on the goalkeeper. And Manchester United was standing still.
Well, not only that, they were caught from the corner, because Millwall took a quick corner, 2 against 1, and Sweeney had a couple of chances just to deliver it, and eventually tied it on his right foot. And it's, well, I'll tell you what, Howard did well in the end.
It's going to happen again unless they get somebody out here. Oh yeah, they're beckoning Van Nistelrooy now. They were 2 against 1 again there. Sweeney and Wise. Lawrence and Ward are still in there. This time Howard, he threw it towards Ronaldo and it didn't get there. Ryan. Eiffel. Harris. Eiffel going again. Okay.
Well, a little bit of a confidence booster, certainly for Millwall. Schoolboy error in terms of defensively for Manchester United to get caught in such a way.
There goes Van Nistelrooy between the 2 centre-backs. Lawrence won it. Sweeney looking for Harris. Fletcher got brought down there. Livermore the offender. Free kick Manchester United. Ronaldo. Ward needing some help from Livermore.
play by Millwall. Not frightened to take the ball back into the penalty area, just to, in the end, to be able to clear the ball.
Well, we've had nearly half an hour, and it's 0-0 in Cardiff, as Fletcher punts that ball forward for United. Eiffel for Millwall. Down the centre, Harris ahead of it. This is Livermore to Sweeney. Livermore again. Cahill's down that left-hand side here, but he couldn't keep it in.
Just remind me, John, Ryan Giggs is playing for Manchester United, isn't he?
Sure, and he's playing in the city where he was born. There goes Van Nistelrooy. And there's a certain confidence about the way Millwall have passed the ball around, even in their own half. Here's Harris. Wise. This is Sylvester for Manchester United to Giggs. Van Nistelrooy's header on. What's Ryan going to do? What are Millwall going to do? Ronaldo's there.
That's the point we're just trying to make about Giggs. He suddenly gets the ball and he runs at people, which is brilliant at it. He's made a fantastic career out of doing so, and things will happen. And if you've got Ronaldo doing that on the right-hand side as well, you're going to cause Millwall problems. Would have been some goal to score from their mind for Ronaldo.
Yeah. Well, Millwall proving no pushovers here. This is Roy Keane. In by Neville, and it's come to Van Nistelrooy. Shea. And Nistelrooy. Oh, Jeff Winter almost got a touch there. This is Scholes. Giggs is making a run here. Elliott's the defender. He's got the corner, but there's an injury.
I think it's Van Nistelrooy. I don't know whether he took a knock in laying the ball off.
He did. I think yeah, it happened just when it was released, didn't it?
Sure. But again, that's the one for Giggs in beside the fullback. He must have heard you complaining about his performance.
Was that me? I thought. Anyway, we've got Brown and Sylvester in there this time. It's come out to Paul Scholes. They're not happy with the corners. I can see O'Shea waving at Ronaldo and asking him to give it a bit more lift.
Sure. Sweeney does very, very well. Eventually, when the ball came out to Scholes, because Sweeney made some 5 yards up just to really put Scholes off. He had one eye on the ball, Scholes, and one eye on how far or how close Sweeney was to him.
I can see Ray Wilkins in the coaching perimeter in his shirt sleeves, looking, I would think, as composed as his team just at the moment, but barking out a few orders.
I think he's just slightly worried that Scholes had a little bit of room for the shot from the corner. There's no pressure on him until Sweeney appeared on the scene.
Probably told the player manager to close him down a bit quicker.
You can imagine the reply he got.
Here's Fletcher. Scholes. This is Ronaldo.
Well, worth an effort. He does make things happen though, doesn't he, Ronaldo? He does make things happen.
That's Walter Smith, now the number 2 to Sir Alex Ferguson. Vast experience north of the border with Rangers and of course with Everton too.
I think he described the pair as pensive, wouldn't he?
Yeah, that's a pretty appropriate word, I think. Millwall, I think, unperturbed at the moment. 33 minutes, and that one flying save by Andy Marshall is more or less all Manchester United have got to show for it. Now there's somebody's gone onto the pitch on the far side, and the security people are involved now. Don't quite know what that's all about. We don't need it. We won't show it. Jeff Winters had to stop the game while the intruder is removed. Oh, he hasn't stopped the game. There's somebody on the pitch while the free kick was taken there. This is Eiffel. Ward and Harris are in there together, and Wes Brown letting it run. Did I see things there, or did he restart the game with that guy still on the pitch?
The guy still had another 10 yards to leave before he left the pitch, which was very strange. Anyway.
Almost had to borrow a line from one of my predecessors there. People on the pitch, quite the same circumstances. Anyway, it's O'Shea for Manchester United in the left-back position here. Ronaldo's made a run ahead of him. This is Giggs. Van Nistelrooy. And, well, Lawrence needed a bit of help from Ryan, but then he got the ball away. Giggs into Ronaldo. They can't break Millwall down. This is Cahill to Harris. Wise. It's away by Ward. Neville. Cahill really is a very talented player. I'd be surprised if he doesn't finish up in the Premiership before too long. Energetic in midfield, but a lot of qualities. Here's Eiffel. He's also got a nice piece of talent here. He's got Harris coming in from the far side, and Eiffel shoots for goal. It hit Sylvestre and came out to Fletcher. Now Scholes with Giggs again making a run ahead of him. Oh, and he's put the ball behind Ronaldo.
Good play by Eiffel, certainly, wasn't it? He just sort of shrugged off the challenge from O'Shea, got on the edge of the penalty area, and he did look to pick one of the Millwall forwards out. I think there was only certainly Harris in there, maybe Cahill. There was nothing really on, so we thought, you know, we'll have the shot, why not? But encouraging from Millwall's point of view.
Yes, Eiffel, who made the goal in the semi-final, if you remember, against Sunderland, when Cahill followed up to score.
But it's important for Millwall that they have those breaks, John, just to relieve the pressure, and also then try and stop Manchester United coming forward in numbers. Certainly the likes of Neville from the right and O'Shea from the left.
This is Neville now. Manchester United's passing has been below their best at times here. O'Shea. Fletcher finds Keane. Giggs. Trying to put Van Nistelrooy in. This is Fletcher. There are plenty of red shirts in the penalty area here. Should he get a cross in? Well, the corner flag has been removed and it's going to be put back by the assistant referee as Giggs takes the corner. Oh, it won't stay upright. Keane in the 6-yard box. Flick on there, didn't quite fall. Roy Keane got a touch early, and then here's Neville. Still plenty in there for Manchester United. And O'Shea finally knocked away by Ward. Best. Scholes to Giggs, and Giggs is still in there, so is Scholes. Millwall once again defending valiantly. Manchester United not really getting into the Lions' cage yet. Here's O'Shea. Fletcher. Cahill for Millwall. Makes a good break here. Keane finds Giggs. Van Nistelrooy on the edge of the area. But again, they're just running into the blue shirts. Cahill to Eiffel. Fletcher. Ronaldo. Dug out by Elliott. Neville. Decent cross, Van Nistelrooy, Ronaldo coming in here. Ronaldo! Marshall, then Ward got it away. Marshall got an arm on it. Darren Ward off the line for Millwall. Corner, and here Millwall really being tested now. Brown, O'Shea both forward for the corner. It's come out to Paul Scholes, and driven by Scholes and not far away.
Yeah, not unlike the position from the corner a few minutes earlier when he was challenged in the end, but it's a good double save really by Millwall, the goalkeeper originally. Very, very low down, got something on it, and then in the end, Ward completes the clearance. I thought for a moment as well when Van Nistelrooy flipped the ball on, John, to Ronaldo, that the right back was going to catch Ronaldo and he's going to fall over.
Well, there's always that danger. Signals going out from the boss. Keane. Van Nistelrooy. O'Shea. Oh, that was Lawrence on Fletcher, and Manchester United running up to Jeff Winter. Three of them around the referee, appealing for a foul. It's a corner given instead, taken quickly. Ronaldo still. And now Fletcher inside to Giggs. Brown and Sylvester still forward. Giggs has found Keane, and Gary Neville coming up on the outside. Ronaldo! The 19-year-old from Portugal has given Manchester United the lead in the cup final 2 minutes before half-time.
Goal scorer for Manchester United.
Well, for a moment, Millwall thought that they might have had a penalty given against them, and from the corner, they were fast asleep. Eventually, when Manchester United worked the ball over, it's a great run from Ronaldo. He gambled, got the right side from his point of view of his marker, 1-0. But definitely, Millwall thought for a moment there might have been a penalty given against them, and they just knocked off for a second, John, which enabled United to take the lead.
That's precisely what happened, Mark. Also, I thought Dennis Wise was the nearest player to Ronaldo when he headed it in.
Well, he was rooted to the spot. What happened was he was just caught ball watching. But even without that, I don't think he would have beaten Ronaldo in the challenge, because Ronaldo had a running start on him.
He's not the youngest goal scorer in an FA Cup final, of course. Norman Whiteside, wearing a Manchester United shirt, holds that particular distinction. But not a bad way to make your mark as a teenager playing in the showpiece event. Here's Livermore, and Wise has got himself tangled up. Jeff Winter's trying to pick two players up there with Wise and Scholes.
WWF.
It's all happening now. We've got a minute of added time at the end of the first half. Ryan Giggs. Millwall's resistance broken at last. Cahill. This is Eiffel. Harris in the centre.
Well, that Manchester United goal will completely change both team talks and both sets of managers completely. I mean, United just a case of yes, keep playing. Millwall will have to change in the second half now.
Cahill's in the penalty area at the moment with Sweeney as Millwall in stoppage time come down the right-hand side. Marvin Elliott's got the ball for the throw. Harris with Cahill behind him. It goes in towards Eiffel, who thought he had half a shout for a foul, but this is Van Nistelrooy and Scholes. Fletcher to Neville. Ronaldo. Now, what's Jeff Winter going to give here?
Free kick. He's been the star Ronaldo of the first half, because the 22 players, he's the only one on a consistent level and basis. He's just taking players on all the time. We know he's full of tricks. He's just committed people.
This is surely the last action of the first half. Millwall have got to really concentrate now and not go too behind. John O'Shea's coming up from the back. Sylvester is there as well. Oh, something's happening off the ball. Wise and Scholes.
Well, Wise just had hold of Paul Scholes. Just trying to get hold of
Oh, and now they've gone down again. What's Jeff Winter going to do? Wise and Scholes tangling a second time. Wise seems to be the offender here.
He has to be very, 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 very careful. You do that in the penalty area, it's a penalty.
Well, eventually we're going to get a free kick taken. It's way beyond the half-time period. Giggs to take the free kick. And Jeff Winter blows even as he takes it. Now let's just see as they go off here, Mark, if there's any reaction, because Wise is going up to the referee. No, he's not.
There's no reaction between the two players.
Yes, there is. Wise has just pushed Gary Neville in the back.
I think he's told him to butt out.
And Jeff Winter is running off the pitch with Dennis Wise. Well, as far as the touchline anyway.
I think from Millwall's point of view, John, they contained Manchester United extremely well in the first half. But as we said, that goal just before half-time by Cristiano Ronaldo will change everything. And I think for Millwall, in the second half, they will have to change the way they play if they're going to get back in this game.
It's a header by Ronaldo from Gary Neville's cross. It's the only goal of the first half. It's Manchester United 1, Millwall 0.
Well, it's gone as expected so far. It took a while to come, but it came nevertheless.
I thought Millwall for 40 minutes played exceptionally well. You know, they were strong, resolute. The keeper made a couple of good saves, but they were together as a unit. The only problem they had was that when they were having possession, it was all in their own half, and they never really had an outlet. And Manchester United were coming back wave after wave. Then they had a good 5-minute spell where Millwall were there, a couple of half chances, but after about 40 minutes, you could just sense it was coming, and best player on the pitch scored the goal.
You could sense it was coming most of that first half, couldn't you, Michael? You could see the space developing behind the Millwall defence.
That's right. They were all behind the ball, but they were so tight, and Ronaldo was getting in, and Giggs later on, and whatever down the wide positions, and that's where you hurt teams. You know, people have got big, strong centre halves, but if you can get wide and knock crosses in, that kills these teams off.
There is a difference in class, Peter. That's evident, as we knew before the game.
Yeah, a big difference. I mean, I don't think that Millwall played particularly well, but what they did do was they defended. But United was still creating chances, and it's a very sort of familiar pattern of this game.
Cheers, Gary, thank you very much. Just thinking about Ronaldo, Mark, Ferguson's been criticised for the quality of his signings last summer, but if you think about it, Tim Howard's been a pretty solid goalkeeper. We're seeing the best of Ronaldo today. Kleberson played in a World Cup final, for goodness sake. I don't necessarily buy that they were bad signings.
Well, I think on performances, I don't neither sort of Kleberson or Jemba or Bellion has been good enough this season for me, John. Cristiano Ronaldo is improving, as the boys are saying, all the time, which is the key.
Well, here he is on the ball, and Manchester United now playing left to right with a goal lead. And as Michael Owen said, there's no real change in the Millwall setup. Neil Harris is going to plough a lone furrow up there with the 4 behind him, and then Wise in the hole in front of the back 4. That's the way they've shaped up. And here's John O'Shea in the attack for Manchester United. Eiffel.
Well, there we've seen it straight away, really, and Neil Harris has worked so hard. Now, the other decision for Millwall is if they do throw someone up to help him, is he going to help him while he's still got the legs?
Here's Fletcher for United. It's a very good run by Darren Fletcher. It's a brilliant run. Hasn't yet scored for Manchester United, but it won't be long if he carries on running through with the ball like that.
Well, it was a brilliant run, John, but I don't know in the end why he didn't sort of hit left foot rather than right. Goes through the Millwall defenders, and he decided to clip it with the outside of his right foot. No real power on it.
That could have been one of the memorable cup final goals, couldn't it, if he'd got the finish right there? Yeah. Here's Neville. Scholes. Ryan Giggs. Ronaldo with Van Nistelrooy drifting across to the far side of the penalty area. Half cleared by Ryan. Now it's Sweeney for Millwall. Eiffel is the only man ahead of him. Elliott. Cahill. That's a foul by Van Nistelrooy.
On both occasions, I think Cristiano Ronaldo ran some 40 yards to close an opponent down, and then Van Nistelrooy as well. So working extremely hard, Manchester United, from the front.
Well, Darren Ward has gone forward for this free kick, which the goalkeeper is going to take. Ward alongside Harris for once. He's got some support up there. Cahill also in advance. That is Cahill. And that's good skill by the Australian. Elliott. Bit of defending to do there for Manchester United. Both the central midfield players back, Keane and Fletcher. Scholes to Giggs. Free kick. And Jeff Winter. Sorry, Mark, you're waving.
No,
sorry.
I think Dennis Wise will get a yellow card here. I think he's caught Giggs. He was far too quick from the first instance, but he's left his foot right in.
Spot on. It's a yellow card for the Millwall player-manager, who, as we showed at half-time, was perhaps fortunate not to get punished one way or another in the first half, but he's certainly been cautioned now.
Well, there was just no attempt whatsoever to play the ball. I thought for a moment he might have just been a little bit late, but it wasn't even a case of that. Look at that, John. It's very dangerous.
It's right down Ryan Giggs' shin, isn't it?
Certainly is.
And Wise is now treading a very narrow line here in the cup final. Doesn't seem to have suffered, neither does Keane, really, from what we've seen, because of this hamstring injury they both had.
No, I mean, Dennis Wise has been across to Italy, hasn't he? Yeah. It's a place that Luca Vialli sent him to, so it's a bit of a Lazarus performance so far in terms of being able to compete.
The United physio, Rob Swire, has got to take Ryan Giggs off the pitch before he's allowed to come back on. One of these charades that FIFA seem to insist on, and it's going to be a free kick in his absence to be taken by Sylvestre. Ronaldo. Bit short for Gary Neville, that. Could be a break on for Millwall here. Livermore. Harris to his right. Good fun. He found him well, but he didn't control it. Giggs has come back on the pitch now. And he's moving around the front line all the time, Ryan Giggs. He's obviously got a licence to float just behind Van Nistelrooy. Roy Keane to Neville. Ronaldo. Oh, he's done well there. Header out, only comes to Neville.
Well, he scored a few goals lately, hasn't he, Gary Neville? He scored a couple of goals at home at Old Trafford. I think certainly the thing with Ronaldo, just put it in the way, just slowed down the markers, and then in the end he gets his little trick in. You know what, he slows them completely down. Well, there you go. Thank you, and very, very good cross as well.
Of course, going back to Wise being booked, I suppose the manager can't really take himself, well, he could, but I mean, I suppose if he was manager and not playing, he might say to that player, you know, you're on a yellow card, off. That's what Ferguson did with Scholes the other week. Anyway, here's Harris with Eiffel to his right, taking on O'Shea. Well, the assistant referee, they've swapped over actually. Tony Green is now on the far side in the second half, the assistants, and he gave that throw in favour of United. Two going for one ball there for Millwall. If they do need to put another, or feel they should put another striker on, Millwall have got two on the bench, but they're pretty inexperienced, Barry Cogan and Mark McCammon. Foul by Eiffel. And the man who will make the decisions over there is Ray Wilkins. Keane. O'Shea. Giggs looking for O'Shea again. Gets forward well, the left back, and he's picked out Fletcher here. To Keane. Into Scholes. Paul Scholes, good save, Marshall. And Van Nistelrooy couldn't get there before Lawrence.
There's a very, very good move from Manchester United. Excellent work. Fletcher into Keane. Touched by Scholes, Hurley hit. Well, Lawrence did very, very well because Van Nistelrooy was close. He just sneaking it 2-0.
So Brown and Sylvestre adding their height to the penalty area for this corner from Giggs. Brown makes the first run. The header actually came from Ronaldo again.
Oh, he looked like a salmon, John. I think that headed goal in the first half has spurred him on. Well, this is the move, isn't it? Keen into scores. It's a very, very good save by the goalkeeper. I don't think he saw it until very late.
Millwall supporters launching another loud chant to inspire their team. That's Harris, and it's going to be a free kick the other way. Well, look at the goal attempts.
Yeah, just wondering, Millwall warming one of the players up on the far side. Probably think within any minute, time for a change for them.
Yes, the pattern of the game isn't really changing while it's like this. This is Van Nistelrooy taking a tumble. The ball is with Livermore now. And over on the far side, Eiffel with O'Shea. The ball boys are from Jersey this year. Here's Harris. Eiffel. Oh, Eiffel's now in the centre. It was Elliott who went forward and got that ball in. Here's Wise. And Fletcher being forced back and having to turn away from two Millwall players did ever so well. Well, nice fairy tale if you're a Celtic supporter. They've equalised against Dunfermline. The goal scorer, I hardly need tell you, Henrik Larsson. I think it's his 40th of the season, which is about par for the course for him at Celtic. Final game up there before he changes clubs. And he, of course, has come out of retirement to play for Sweden in the forthcoming European Championship. Through ball by Scholes, and there goes Van Nistelrooy. So 1-1 north of the border. 1-0. I was going to say south of the border, but we're actually in Wales, aren't we? Wise. And Dennis Wise now has really got to rally his troops a bit, because Manchester United at the moment look comfortable on the one-goal lead. This is Lawrence, striding forward purposefully, finding Eiffel. Harris makes a run inside, Cahill's well forward, there he is. That wasn't meant for Marvin Elliott, but he's got there. Wise needs the diagonal ball here, Eiffel's in there with Tim Howard, well collected. And here's Scholes. To Giggs, Van Nistelrooy to his right, oh, and he was blocked off. But Jeff Winter says no free kick.
Oh, I think the defender knew exactly what he was doing. Giggs just toe poked it past him and he just blocked him completely. It's definitely a free kick.
I think he looks as puzzled as you sound.
Well, it's a bulldozer of a challenge, wasn't it? It's a booking, let alone a free kick as well.
Here's Gary Neville. Ronaldo. Harris had come back to help the defence, and it's going to be a free kick to Manchester United. Now Van Nistelrooy has gone and deliberately stood in an offside position here. It's a little trick that he works and then comes back onside if need be. Matt Lawrence has had to go right back there now. He doesn't know whether to go back into the 6-yard box or not, the defender. It's going to be Giggs with the kick. wasn't. It was Scholes. This is Ronaldo. And that's a corner.
Interesting from a defensive point of view. Millwall just had a wall of one. And I think the idea was there to allow Marshall to be able to see the kicker and the trajectory of the ball if it was going to just be a shot.
Giggs will take the corner. Wes Brown arriving now. In fact, it's going to go to Brown. Trying to get it back in, but it hits Sweeney. Still Brown. This is Cahill for Millwall. Oh, they missed out there. First to Van Nistelrooy. The thing about those free kicks is, are you saying that if it's a long way out, the keeper might have a better chance by not having a wall and just facing the shot?
Just being able to see it.
I mean, how many times do you beat the keeper from 30 yards?
I do it every week, John.
Oh, sorry. Millwall just hanging on a bit at the moment. Scholes with plenty around him. Fletcher being one. Scholes again. And pushed forward by Keane. It's going to come out to Ronaldo. Cup finals in recent years have been low scoring by and large. You have to go back a way to find Manchester United's two 4-0 victories over Chelsea and Brighton. It's 1-0 so far today. Fletcher. Oh, and Wise got tripped by Scholes right underneath the referee's nose. Play goes on because Millwall have the advantage with Eiffel taking on O'Shea. That's been a plus for Manchester United this season. O'Shea's development, Mark.
Yes, I think he's been certainly more solid in the last half of the season. It's been a good battle between those two today, because I think in terms of attacking players for Millwall, Eiffel's been the eye.
Here's Ronaldo against Ryan. Well, the defender did as best he could to try and avoid conceding the corner, but he hasn't succeeded. Ronaldo to take it. And that's Sylvestre. And off the line, and Wes Brown couldn't quite get there for the second one. Sylvestre again. Well, the Frenchman who scored here in the Community Shield, Michael Sylvestre, nearly put the cup final beyond the reach of Millwall there.
Well, decent ball then as well, wasn't it? To the back post of man. I tell you what, Brown here doesn't half take a gamble. He knows he's going to get hurt in the end, John, but he's in there for the goal. The header from Sylvestre, extremely blurry. In the end, it's a good, defensively very, very good from Millwall, but Brown just took one on the back of the head.
It was Dennis Wise off the line, Mark. You can see that, yes, Brown's hurt. Dennis Wise was the player who got back and headed it off the line. It was nearly in.
And they were stretching, weren't they?
Oh, well, that's when Ryan and Brown collided. So Brown's had to go off for treatment from the physio, Rob Swire. And where do we restart the game? The player's looking at Jeff Winter. He's going to drop the ball, I think, is he?
Well, United had possession. I think Manchester United will just kick the ball back towards Millwall, unless he goes for a bounce-up.
Well, it looks as though he is. You wouldn't want to be. I was going to say, you wouldn't want to be against Wise in one of those, would you? There's Sweeney now. It's Ronaldo. Two to his left. Van Nistelrooy. Keane. Giggs is far side here. Beaten by Elliott. This is Eiffel against O'Shea. Cahill. Outside him is Sweeney, but he'll go the other way here, will Eiffel. Because Cahill had made a run on that side. Now Harris is the only player in there. Tim Howard gets the better of him, and then Harris harassed the goalkeeper. And it's a free kick back in the United penalty area here in favour of Howard.
Yeah, Harris has tried to delay. Tim Howard didn't stop him throwing the ball out to Ronaldo for the quick break.
The FA Cup final of 2004 in the Millennium Stadium. Manchester United 1, Millwall 0. Gary Neville. Ronaldo, goal scorer. Keane. Giggs. And still Ryan Giggs. All the way, Ryan Giggs. Penalty, Livermore. Livermore on Giggs. Penalty in the cup final. Any arguments, Mark?
No, absolutely none, John. This is what Ryan Giggs' game is all about. We spoke about it in the first half. Running at defenders, committing defenders, no argument. It's a penalty. Stonewall.
Well, Van Nistelrooy, whose thunderous penalty against the crossbar provoked the scenes against Arsenal, now has a chance from the penalty spot to put the cup final possibly beyond doubt. Only 2 goalkeepers have saved cup final penalties. This is Andy Marshall's chance. He can't. Van Nistelrooy scores, and it's 2-0 Manchester United.
That's a class penalty as well, wasn't it? If you notice with Van Nistelrooy, just concentrated on the ball, concentrated exactly where he was going to put the ball from the penalty. He didn't even worry about the goalkeeper.
It's Ruud van Nistelrooy's 29th goal of the season for Manchester United, and emphatic is the only word you can use.
Marvellous penalty. You just worry for Millwall now, John. At 2-0 down here with, well, lots of time still to play.
Yeah. He could teach 1 or 2 of those people in the penalty shootouts a thing or two, couldn't he? There wasn't much doubt where that was going.
No, absolutely not. That's the thing, you know, hark up the point about Giggs. When he does that, it's brilliant. I mean, you know, you just cannot defend against it. And every time you see him, you say, why don't you do it more often?
65 minutes gone at Cardiff. Premiership side now 2 in front against Millwall from Division 1. This is Livermore, the man who gave away the penalty. Jeff Winter didn't hesitate either. Oh, he's done it again, Ronaldo, with that trick. And here's Harris for Millwall. Big test of character for them now. Cahill, Sweeney. Cahill's cross towards Eiffel. O'Shea with the header. Giggs. Scholes. Again. Giggs with Ronaldo outside him. Van Nistelrooy and Scholes in the penalty area. Giggs still available. Now this time Ryan read it. But it's still a corner.
We haven't seen that trick before, I don't think, have we? Must be number 26 in the book.
They've taken it quickly, Mark. It's come back to Keane. United in no particular hurry here. It's Ronaldo and Keane. Keane again. This is Giggs. Ronaldo. In it goes from Keane. Van Nistelrooy coming towards the near post. Ryan stretching and not clearing. This is Giggs. It's Keane. Scholes, good block. Dennis Wise out to Fletcher. It's all Manchester United just now. Looks as though they've tamed the Lions. Here's Giggs. Scholes. Lifted up for Van Nistelrooy, corner.
Well, they're full of confidence now, John, Manchester United. It's almost showtime.
Here come Brown and Sylvester again, the two who were involved in that last corner. Play to Gary Neville. Back again to Ronaldo. Oh, Van Nistelrooy took it away from Paul Scholes, who was coming in behind him.
It's still hard for Millwall to work out what to do, how to play against Manchester United. Because the more they sit back, the more tired they get as well, the more chances United are going to have. And there's a penalty again, there's absolutely no doubt about it.
In the meantime, Celtic, going for the double in Scotland under Martin O'Neill, have now gone 2-1 up against Dunfermline. Like to try and guess the scorer?
I don't think I need to.
Henrik Larsson. This is Roy Keane, who's paced himself pretty well throughout this game on his 6th FA Cup final appearance. This is Neville. Keane and Giggs, incidentally, will join a select few who've won 4 winners' medals in this competition if it stays like this. Scholes. Here's Fletcher. Scholes didn't wrap his foot around that properly, and this is Harris. Sun coming out again in Cardiff. Elliott. And Paul Eiffel having a spirited run forward there, but too many around him really in red shirts. Keane. Keane and Fletcher controlling the midfield at the moment, and they've got the width as well in Ronaldo and Giggs, Manchester United. And they're stretching Millwall across the pitch. Neville, Ronaldo. Out. .350 is the official attendance at the Cup final. Millwall are preparing a change. This is O'Shea to Scholes, played in by Giggs, out again, this time by Wise. Fletcher, and 2 or 3 making runs ahead of him here. Scholes looking for Giggs on the other side of Elliott. Van Nistelrooy in the centre. Fletcher. Keane to his right, Gary Neville. Oh. Well, Ronaldo really has had an exciting afternoon. He's lifted the, well, not perhaps for those supporters, but he has lifted the occasion with his tricks and his talent.
There's been an end product as well. I think that's been the difference for him.
Manager and his assistant there just arranging the substitutions, Wise and Wilkins. Premiership side really shouldn't lose their hold on the FA Cup from this position, should they? There's one hand on the trophy here for Manchester United. We've got 17 minutes to go, rather. 2-0 up, and Millwall not really posing a threat at the moment. And until they get another striker on. This is Wise to Eiffel. They've got two lads, Mark McCammon and Barry Cogan, and I think they're both going to come on together in a minute from the bench. Neville. This is Ronaldo. Scholes. Oh, Gary Neville's offside.
It was a great run as well. And a little bit unfortunate, Scholes. He's trying to get the ball out of his feet to pick Neville up.
Double change coming up for Millwall here. Robbie Ryan and Neil Harris look like the two who will be going off. It's a full-back being sacrificed. And two strikers are going to come on. Mark McCammon, who's had a knee injury most of the season, number 23, and Barry Cogan, a 19-year-old forward who's never started a game for Millwall, but has been on before as a sub. He's from the Republic of Ireland.
Number 23, Mark McCammon.
Feeling a bit sorry for Harris, Johnny. He's worked so hard. He's had to play up on his front, up front on his own for so long as well. He's chased lost causes. The service into him hasn't been great. It's been a hard day for Neil Harris.
I think what will happen now, Mark, is that Livermore will go and play at left back where he's played before in place of Ryan.
And just go 4-4-2, I think.
Yeah.
Tim Howard hasn't had a save to make in the second.
No, absolutely. Anyway, McCammon is at least going to bring some height to it up there. Number 23. In fact, I think they probably pushed Eiffel up to play with McCammon, and is Cogan going to play on the right side of midfield?
Yeah, he is, exactly.
Oh, McCammon's won it from Roy Keane, and he's got Eiffel ahead of him. Oh, and John O'Shea slipped and handled it, did he? Well, Jeff Winter's given first of all he thought about an advantage, then he gave the free kick. Good refereeing.
Very good. Very good indeed. John O'Shea slightly lucky for the circumstances. He might have got a yellow for deliberate handball.
Yes, I'm just wondering here if McCammon's height's going to help Millwall. They've got Cogan on the right-hand side here. And Ward had gone forward in the centre as well, but this is Keane to Scholes. And Ryan Giggs. Fletcher. Ronaldo. Neville. Wasn't a lot on really. Van Nistelrooy is just trying to get a position on the edge of the penalty area, but it's pretty closely marked. And Fletcher's given it away here. And had to be a recovery from Roy Keane, the United captain. There's a bit more assurance about Manchester United when Keane's in the side, isn't there? It's not the spectacular things that he does, far from it. It's just like here, just controls it nicely.
And also what he demands from other people as well, which is part and parcel of his makeup.
Van Nistelrooy, challenged by Wise. Jeff Winter puts his arms behind his back, with his refereeing career just coming to an end. And Dennis Wise kicks the ball out. I don't know whether he thought Van Nistelrooy was injured, did he?
Well, he had a quick look, Dennis Wise, as the ball was coming to him, saw that Van Nistelrooy was still on the ground and just kicked the ball out. And now, unfortunately, it's obviously going to be a throw-in for Manchester United, which is a little bit harsh.
Over on the far side, a little charade being played there by Alec Ferguson. I thought he was going to take the throw-in for a minute. Foul throw, was it?
Well, the throw was just taken so Giggs could then give the ball back to Millwall. So we got there in the end.
Oh dear. I don't think anybody quite works out what this convention is supposed to mean, but anyway, eventually it's going to be a throw into Millwall. Elliott. Sir Bobby Charlton, former Cup finalist himself, and World Cup finalist, of course. Now on the Manchester United board, and has been for some years. Scholes is away. Oh, he's not. It's out. This will do something to kind of, I won't say repair Manchester United's season, but you know the point I'm making.
Well, I think you can look at priorities at the start of the season. You know, Premier League, Champions League and the FA Cup. So, arguably, they've won one of the three trophies that they can win, John.
Yes, it would have to be the most dramatic of all Cup final comebacks now by Millwall to change that situation. Here's Gary Neville. Seem to follow Manchester United around in FA Cup finals. Cantona converted two, didn't he, against Chelsea in that 4-0 win a few years ago. Here's Scholes and Giggs, and still, and a chance. Oh, it was easy for Van Nistelrooy. Two in the 5th round, two in the 6th round, injured in the semi-final, two in the final. Ruud Van Nistelrooy, 3-0 Manchester United.
Well, it's the exchange of passes that really does this here. Scholes into Giggs, inside the marker who slipped, head up, has a little look, and he was just offside, John. Just offside.
Yes, I'd query that, I must say. It looked it, didn't it?
This angle doesn't show it, but the angle we've just shown it was just offside Van Nistelrooy. But of course, in the great scheme of things, I don't suppose that will really matter.
It's a good view of a striker's concentration, isn't it? So 3-0, and they now just need one more, Manchester United, to equal their cup final scores against Brighton in a replay and Chelsea in 1994.
Van Nistelrooy on a hat-trick as well, of course.
Van Nistelrooy on a hat-trick, yeah. I was talking earlier about the Matthews Cup final. Stan Mortensen, 3 goals that day for Blackpool. Cogan for Millwall. In it goes from Livermore.
Just a blatant push from Ronaldo, because I think it's on Cahill, and he thought Cahill had caught him just before, and it's frustration.
Celtic have got the Scottish Cup under their control as well, Mark. 3-1 to Celtic north of the border. Stilian Petrov, the Bulgarian, adding to the 2 goals by Henrik Larsson against Dunfermline up there. So 3-1 Celtic, 3-0 Manchester United, free kick Millwall. Well, Sweeney's moved away, so it's Wise and Eiffel. And here's Eiffel with the shot. Scholes blocked it and also got a free kick out of it. Alec Ferguson, I think, is going to just bow to sentiment a little bit here, Mark, because I think he's going to make at least 2 substitutions. And I'm just wondering if the goalkeeper's coming on as well, Roy Carroll. Nicky Butt and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer certain to come on. And it looks like Roy Carroll as well. So a triple change by the United manager with about 7 minutes to go. We had a goalkeeping substitution in last year's final, but that was because Paul Jones was Anton Niemi was injured and Paul Jones came on for Southampton. I think this is more to do, unless Howard has got a knock, it's more to do with Roy Carroll's service. He played in the semi-final. Well, already Darren Fletcher has gone off. Nicky Butt replaces him in midfield. And Ronaldo will get a great ovation as he goes off.
Manchester United number 20, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
To be replaced by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, who had 5 months out with a knee injury this season, but did play in the semi-final.
Well, I think the game's best player is just departing the field now. It's been outstanding today, Cristiano Ronaldo. Lots and lots of tricks, but lots of end product.
And now we're going to have a change of goalkeeper. Tim Howard, who may well be the first American to win an FA Cup winners' medal, he's going off. And Roy Carroll, who made one outstanding save in the semi-final when the score was 0-0, he's going to come on for the last few minutes here.
Yeah, it was a save very, very early on against Arsenal, wasn't it, from Carroll?
So it's a new look United for the last few minutes here. Wise. But number 8. Keane. O'Shea. Giggs. Well, trophy number 27 if you include his Aberdeen days. Is now awaiting Manchester United. Solskjaer. But that's a real long-range pass to Van Nistelrooy. Giggs is in the centre. Van Nistelrooy trying to do a Ronaldo there for a minute. If you had to pick a man of the match, and this is not official, of course, well, it's official for us, would you go for Ronaldo?
Absolutely. No question.
This is Butt to Giggs. Oh, and Van Nistelrooy's in again, and it's come back to Paul Scholes. He tore on the ball and didn't get the free kick either. And McCammon for Millwall with Eiffel to his right, and he's testing Wes Brown. Support arriving from behind as well here, but McCammon has gone for something rather spectacular and it's drifted away.
Good run though, good pace and good strength. Looked for a moment as though Brown was favourite to win it, but McCammon must be pacey.
They've gone for Van Nistelrooy, fair enough. I think actually Sven-Göran Eriksson has picked him, so perhaps we shouldn't be too critical. Here's Liverpool to Sweeney. One thing that Sven-Göran Eriksson will be pleased about is that the England players who report, and goes for Michael Owen as well, of course, who report tomorrow to go to Sardinia for a training camp. Manchester United's England players appear to have come through unscathed. That was a header by Sylvester, and Brown needs to be quick. And on this occasion, so does Roy Carroll. Now, are we going to have a moment of cup final history with just a couple of minutes left, because Curtis Weston, number 11 for Millwall, is about to become the youngest ever FA Cup finalist. And I think his player manager might be making way for him. when the ball goes out of play. Cahill. Free kick. Taken quickly, and McCammon. No, Jack Winter wants it back. And here it comes.
Coming off the field, number 19,
Dennis Wise, the player manager, to leave the field and be replaced by Curtis Weston, 17 years and 119 days old. Born in Greenwich, just down the road from the New Den, and until the last day of the league season, Curtis Weston had never made an appearance for the Millwall first team. He came on as a substitute against Bradford, and now he beats the record. The modern record is Paul Allen, who played for West Ham at 17 in 1980. There was a young man called James Prinsep back in 1879 who was even younger than Allen, but Curtis Weston has beaten him too. And Millwall with a half chance there for Paul Eiffel. Final score in Scotland: Celtic 3, Dunfermline 1. Another trophy for Martin O'Neill. This is Butt to Scholes. This is Neville. (3-0) Manchester United lead, and there'll be 2 minutes of overtime. Keane. Van Nistelrooy. Keane again. Still showing the effects of one of those heavy midfield challenges, the Manchester United captain. Might have to get a bit of attention to his face before he collects the cup. There's the one that really clinched. It's when Giggs got brought down, Van Nistelrooy smashed this penalty in, and that really, in a way, clinched it for Manchester United. Millwall were never going to get back from 2-0 down, and then, of course, it went to 3. Giggs. This is Eiffel. Elliott. Lawrence. Looking for McCammon, and Wes Brown, although he takes a bit of a battering, has let the ball go out of play. Mark, there's probably a good moment for you to sum up what you feel about this final before we get into all the celebrations. I mean, has it worked out the way we all expected?
Yeah, I think so, John. I think obviously the crucial moment, the first goal for Manchester United just before half-time. They fully deserved the victory today. You feel a bit sorry for Millwall. They contained Manchester United for long spells in that first half. Once the first goal went in, Millwall then really had no reply, but they worked extremely hard today and can be proud, really, at the end of the game, just how hard and how difficult they've made it for United.
Well, here's Nicky Butt striding forward in injury time. Got a bit of a push from Cahill. Good solid tackle by Livermore. And we've played the 2 minutes now. Oh, and Eiffel has turned round. Tackled by Keane, played the ball. And in fact, Keane and Eiffel are hurt.
Just wondering whether Keane actually caught his knee. Nothing wrong with the challenge, he won the ball very, very cleanly.
Actually, Roy Keane is due to go for his much delayed return with the Republic of Ireland next week, Mark. They've got 3 games coming up. One at Lansdowne Road this coming week, and then 2 in a Unity Cup tournament at the Valley. But this won't be good news for Brian Kerr.
Now, the other thing as well is that, with Keane, he stays down, he's injured, but he's just got back up to his feet now. It may well just be a knock.
Well, Eiffel's not too healthy either at the moment. Wasn't a penalty offence, Mark, was it?
No, he won the ball.
Fair tackle,
cleanly, yeah, very good. still such a massive influence on the way they play, John, Roy Keane.
Oh well, we said a few minutes ago, didn't we? They're a different team when he's in the side. I mean, he's the heartbeat of it.
It's going to be a big player for them to replace eventually.
They've signed this boy Miller, haven't they? From, is it Celtic, who's going to be the new Roy Keane? Or not that one should label him with that responsibility, but
it's a fair old title before you play.
It is a bit, isn't it? Yeah, exactly. Anyway, his old club Celtic have won the Scottish Cup in Glasgow against Dunfermline after being a goal down. And Manchester United have won the FA Cup for the 11th time. They've tamed the Lions and lifted a trophy at the end of what, by their standards, has been a troubled season. Ruud van Nistelrooy, the ace goal scorer with 2, Cristiano Ronaldo with the first, and for Alec Ferguson, a 5th FA Cup and a 17th trophy, major trophy, with Manchester United. It all started off fairly tight and interesting for half an hour, and then once Manchester United scored, they really took hold of the game. It took them 44 minutes when Ronaldo put them ahead, Van Nistelrooy on 65 from the penalty spot, and then again on 81. And the equipment coming out now for the trophy presentation in the centre of the pitch, but I think the fastest man across the pitch then was Garth Brooks. He's with Ruud van Nistelrooy.
Well, Ruud, many congratulations. 2 goals in the 5th round, 2 goals in the 6th round, and 2 goals in the final. Not bad.
No, it was a great year. You know, the FA Cup was a great run we had. We wanted to have a better run than the last couple of years, but I think winning the final today and scoring 2 is fantastic.
The penalty that you scored epitomised Manchester United's control. Very cool, very emphatic.
Yeah, you know, I missed the last one I took, but I was convinced that this one I wouldn't miss one, so I took full power and I went in.
It looked at times, Ruud, like it was a stroll in the park for Manchester United.
No, that would be disrespect to Millwall, because they did very well. They were very organised. They played so hard, so all credit to them.
When you look around this stadium, you do join a few Dutch people who've actually won this great tournament. How does that feel?
I'm proud. I'm very proud that I won the FA Cup. It's the biggest cup in the world, so I'm very proud.
Many congratulations.
Well, he's not the first Dutchman, as Garth says, to win a Cup Winners' Medal with Manchester United. Arnold Muren did it in the 80s, and that's a good show of solidarity from the losers Millwall, by the way, as Alec Ferguson congratulates his troops. Millwall have gone into quite a huddle there, and it's a day they'll never forget. They came out with their mobile phones to speak to people from the pitch before the game, soaking up the atmosphere. And Dennis Wise, himself a veteran of so many cup finals, is going around congratulating the opposition, as indeed is Ray Wilkins. I think Garth's now grabbed Roy Keane.
Roy, you've won some wonderful trophies in your time. How does this rank?
It's very nice. It's always nice, you know. The last was always the nicest, and we knew we were for a hard game, and I think all credit must go to Millwall. I thought outstanding.
The United performance against Arsenal was very controlled. This was very professional, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so. You know, I think the goal just before half-time was very important for us, you know, because Millwall was giving them a lot more confidence as the game went on. So that was important for us. So you know, it's always nice to win.
I must say that Millwall, when the game started, seemed to be holding their own. But it didn't take long for Manchester United to take charge of the game.
Oh, well, again, Millwall had nothing to lose. We've been saying that all week. You know, we run hiding to nothing. And they're comfortable on the ball, you know, and we saw that in the semi-final, that they can play a bit. So again, it was just about being patient, as you said, professional, and we just felt at the end, hopefully, the quality would tell, and which it did.
Many congratulations.
Thanks very much.
I think we just caught sight of the cup being engraved there in the background down the tunnel. Ryan Giggs applauding the Manchester United fans. Roy Keane, who was talking there to Garth, has won 4 of the 6 FA Cup finals in which he's played. But I think we'll hear a Millwall view now. Neil Harris talking to Ray Stubbs.
Neil, you gave it everything. Proud performance from your team. Yeah, we done what we could. We had a game plan at the start. We stuck to that very well. We were thoroughly disappointed with the goal just before half-time. It was a lapse in defending. I thought Wise had more time than he did. And the fella nipped into the back stick to score, but we've been punished today by someone like Nistelrooy. They had a very quiet game, scored 2 goals. That's maybe the gulf in the two sides. But the fans, you see them, you can hear them. They've done us proud today, and we just hope we've done the same for the club.
Neil, congratulations. Dennis Wise is behind you, skipper. Dennis, you gave it everything you got. Manchester United on the day, they've won the FA Cup, but you must be very proud of your players.
No, I am proud of them. They've done very well, the chaps. You know, if we'd have maybe gone in at half-time, 0-0, might have been different. You know, I think it killed us at that time, and it was a mistake. We made a mistake, but obviously you get punished when you make mistakes against these people. They punish us. So we've done ourselves proud. We've done fantastic, and I'm proud of the lads. I've got a lot of youngsters. I think today I ended up with 2 17-year-olds, an 18-year-old and a 19-year-old on the pitch at the same time. So
and a 30-odd-year-old, yeah.
37-year-old, but no.
You took all your players in the huddle at the end of the game. Took them all in the big huddle.
I just told them to be proud of themselves. You know, we got done by a sloppy goal where a bit of information Neil Harris gave me was wrong, and I was annoyed at him, but it happened. The second one was maybe, I don't know whether it was a penalty, and the third one was offside. So hold your heads up, chaps, come on. Hey, they've done fantastic. We give it a go. It'd have been better if we'd have gone in. It'd have been a different game if we'd have gone in at half-time, maybe 0-0. Just on the last minute it killed us. Cheers, man.
Dennis, proud performance, thanks.
Well, Tim Howard, Roy Carroll, many congratulations to you both. It was a unique situation, both got on, and it was quite fitting as well.
Yeah, we battled all season. I think it's only right that we both got on, yeah.
Roy, you were magnificent in the semi-final. It must have been wonderful for you to actually make this final.
Yeah, it's fantastic for me, and the families came over from Northern Ireland and enjoyed it very much, coming on for the last 10 minutes.
For an American, how's it feel?
It's good. It's better than advertised. It's really nice.
I mean, you told me you've seen this competition before. What's it like to play in it? What's it like to win it?
For me, it's legend. It's awesome to get a medal and get a cup my first year. I can't say anything else about it.
I can't make up my mind who was a spectator today. I mean, you were in goal, you were on the bench, but you were both watching it. You didn't have an awful lot to do, did you?
Didn't have a lot to do, but what we did well, so we'll take the win.
Many congratulations to both of you.
Well, just to answer Dennis Wise's question there, it was a penalty, but it was also offside, so I'm sure we'll clear that up again a little bit later on. In the meantime, the man with the pacemaker has kept up the pace. Another FA Cup, another trophy for Alex Ferguson, and his young grandson is in the ground as well, who I think, well, I know for a fact he came down to meet him in the tunnel before the game. And now the Millwall coach, Ray Wilkins, with Ray Stubbs.
Ray, your players are quite dejected, but they did themselves proud.
Yeah, they did do themselves proud, but I think the scoreline, they're probably not too pleased with, if I'm perfectly honest, because they've worked extremely hard. We're very proud of them, what they've achieved. And Manchester United, let's face it, are a good side, and they pass the ball very well. Their movement's exceptional. I thought they had a little bit of fortune with a couple of the goals. I thought they might have been nip and tuck, but nevertheless, the better side won. But in saying that, our lads have learnt a lot today, and I think that's important when you play against teams like this, that you learn from the occasion. And today has been just a wonderful occasion for everybody concerned.
And a springboard maybe for younger players and a young manager with the more experience led alongside him to go on to greater things.
Well, one would like to think so, Ray. It's not as easy as that, this wonderful game of ours, and we sincerely hope that these young men see this once again in their life, because these occasions are things to cherish. And got the likes of Roy's done it 6 times, Dennis has done it 5 times. You can't buy these situations, and it's just been a marvellous day for everybody.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Well, Gary, you said defeat was out of the question, and it was.
Well, it was. I think the goals before half-time really settled us down and gave Millwall a lot of problems in the second half, but they made it very difficult for us, and in the end it looked simple, but it wasn't in the first half, certainly.
When you arrived at the stadium, United didn't talk to anybody, you went into your dressing room, and you seemed to focus, very professional.
Well, I think we had to be today. It was all about professionalism, making sure we did the job properly. I don't think we were outstanding, but I think Ronaldo, Giggsy and Rude produced some really good moments for us, in particular Ronaldo. I thought he was outstanding today.
Ronaldo is a young lad, a great talent, and people are likening him to Cantona. Could he be that good?
I think he can. I'm not just saying this. I think he can seriously be a world-class player, and I mean right up in the very top players in the world. He's just absolutely outstanding. He's only 18, 19, and to come with this massive price tag on his head, he's done sensationally well this season for us.
Very professional.
Jeff Winter, the referee, who is retiring at the compulsory age of 48, is just receiving his medal, as indeed has his assistants, Roger Rees, Tony Green and Matt Messias. And Millwall, as the losers, will now go up first to get their medals. And I think we shall probably see Kevin Muscat, Tony Warner and Danny Dichio going up first. Dennis Wise, as I said before, no great believer in protocol. He'll do what seems to suit the occasion, and the injured and suspended players get their medals. Muscat, Dichio and the injured goalkeeper Tony Warner preceding the player manager up the steps to Sven Goran Eriksson there, who's handing over the medals. That's the captain there, Matt Lawrence, who was quite a way down the line, in fact. But I don't know how much we saw of the 17-year-old when he came on. Not very much, I don't think. We got a fleeting glimpse of him. But he gets a medal as well, as indeed do the other substitutes. And Andy Marshall, who made that outstanding save early on to keep Millwall in the game. And there's something, they say the losers don't matter, but I think these boys will treasure their cup final medals, because it's an achievement to get here for a team from the Football League Division 1. Applause from the England coach. With him there is Jeff Thompson, the chairman of the FA, just making sure he gets the medals in the right order. And
now, ladies and gentlemen, up to collect
the lad who died before the season started, you remember, young Davis, who was on his way to Watford, a former Manchester United player. And what a decent gesture by the Manchester United team to wear his name on all their shirts as they go up to get the FA Cup. That is, to say the least, very thoughtful. And first up there, well, it's any order really, it doesn't have to be the specifics, but it's going to be Roy Keane eventually who will collect the cup, in fact. It's in memory of the young lad who died in a car crash on the eve of the season. Will be well remembered. And one or two non-playing squad members there, Diego Forlan among them, and David Bellion, Kleberson, the Brazilian, and the man of the match, or the official man of the match, Ruud van Nistelrooy, and now Roy Keane. Roy Keane, the only man since the 1880s to play in 6 FA Cup finals, lifts the trophy for Manchester United. It's their 17th major trophy success under Sir Alex Ferguson. Jimmy Davis, well remembered there, as Manchester United celebrate with the FA Cup the 11th time this famous club have won it. 2 more than anybody else. So let's hear from the Manchester United manager, Sir Alex Ferguson. He's with Garth.
Well, Alex, you've won some magnificent...
To one up top and Ruud van Nistelrooy. Well, for Millwall, normally with Dichio fit it would be 4-4-2. Quite simple. They've had to change it, and I think wisely. They haven't gone for another front man. They've gone to strengthen that midfield area, because I think had they gone in with 4, they would have been outpassed. Big players for them. The 2 we've got on the right hand side, Paul Eiffel up here and Tim Cahill. Those are the 2 that I expect from midfield to give the biggest threat to Manchester United. And you mentioned 19-year-old Peter Sweeney and 19-year-old Marvin Elliott-Martin. Well, what a job they've got. Sweeney to protect the fullback Robbie Ryan here against Ronaldo, and We've got Marvin Elliott at 19 against one of the best players the Premiership's produced in Ryan Giggs.
I'm not sure how long Dennis Wise will play in this game. They've really pushed it to the limits, the medical advice, the treatment, but you can watch him in the early minutes via the player cam. If you're a Sky Digital viewer, of course, via the red button on the remote.
Little worry, just half before the game. Dennis didn't come out and warm up as normally he would have done, which suggests that he is still bothered with the injury. He's probably had a couple of jabs or so into it to freeze it, to null it. And at 37, and probably his last cup final, I think he was prepared to take this chance. He's too important for his team.
Millwall, originally founded by a firm of marmalade manufacturers. You do feel they'll need a bit of jam today, but they're here. They haven't played a Premiership side in this cup run, which has obviously helped their progress. And now they are face to face with the true reality of the higher level, the most successful FA Cup team of all time. 10 victories in the bag. It would be a unique FA Cup 11 for Manchester United with success today. Van Nistelrooy, who scored here on his official debut for Manchester United in the Community Shield, getting on for 3 years ago, but they lost that day. They haven't got the greatest record in this stadium. They did start their season in the Community Shield this time in Cardiff, won it on penalties against Arsenal. Millwall, the Lions, against the Giants of Manchester United. Matt Lawrence, Marvin Elliott, who's come, like a number of these Millwall players, really from nowhere to be in a global spotlight for the next couple of hours. Robbie Ryan at left back. The Scot, Peter Sweeney, playing ahead of him.
Well, if anyone who hasn't seen much of Millwall wanted a little glimpse of what they're going to try and do, is what I said. Look at that, from kick-off, it was pass, trying to get every player on the ball early, trying to give them a little touch, and that's the way they'll try and play. But it's what they can do, and what's more important is what they do when Manchester United have the ball.
Here's Sweeney. Millwall's semi-final support was sensational. At a club whose name is synonymous with crowd violence and bigotry, the cup run has been a once-in-a-lifetime chance to get rid of the unacceptable face of the South London club. And I must say the initiative has come from the top, Theo Pafitis, the chairman. And they're in an unusual position, Millwall, of being much loved today as the underdog. And of course, rightly or wrongly, we all know there is an anti-Manchester United faction born of jealousy up and down the land. We can't be singing that "No One Loves Us" song that usually echoes around the Den. Right, it could be his last game for the club. He's turned down an offer for a new contract because it's only 1 year long. Been there 6 years. Wilkins, who has really been emphasising, they haven't played for 13 days, Millwall, been emphasising the need to keep the ball. Of course, it was a quality he had in abundance as a player. If you give it away to Manchester United, he's been saying, you might have to wait a long, long time to get it back.
Yeah, keep it in the right areas though. I think the back four have got to be ever so careful when they're passing it about across the face of the back four, that they're not sloppy with it or reckless.
Gary Neville. It's already straying from the left-hand side, and it's one of football's great myths that Ryan Giggs is an Englishman who reverted to the land of his fathers to play international football. He was born here in Cardiff.
Just a mistimed tackle there. Livermore trying to get the ball, eventually does so, but free kick's the right decision. Might see one or two of those. I wouldn't give too many away there, but you might see one or two of those in midfield early on, and Millwall try and break up the game a little.
What we will see as usual is Van Nistelrooy lurking in a position where he starts offside, then comes back, Scholes whips it in. The delay sometimes helps that Van Nistelrooy ploy.
It's a deliberate free kick, that, you know. People around the country are thinking, well, they just bump into each other. They don't. It's pretty much, I think, from Walter Smith. I remember him using it a lot. He used it in Scotland squads as well at times. And what they try and do is, by bumping in, they try and get the defenders to shut off. But the front men know, and the people who are attacking know that the ball's coming straight back in.
Here's Darren Fletcher, great compliment to his recent performances, that he's got a starting berth here. Darren Ward, Millwall's player of the season. Elliott, really a midfield player and may end up playing there if Wise doesn't go the distance. And Dennis Wise loses out to Keane, rather worryingly for Millwall. Ronaldo crosses, and the header flies wide from Van Nistelrooy.
Well, that's just a little warning. Pass is good, but if you're sloppy with it, then United will pounce. And you could see how high up the pitch Ronaldo kept himself. He was there. No little step overs there. It was quickly just fed into the middle. And Nistelrooy on the move.
Van Nistelrooy, one of 7 of the Manchester United starting 11 who are appearing in an FA Cup final for the first time. And think of the experience that they have. Roy Keane and Ryan Giggs, 3 winners' medals. Gary Neville and Paul Scholes have 2 each. And the other 7 are as new to this kind of atmosphere as the Millwall 10. Of course, the 11th is Wise, who could make more FA Cup history today. No player has won the competition with 3 different clubs. Wise, of course, has done it already with Wimbledon in circumstances a bit similar to this, and twice as captain of Chelsea. Lawrence, a studious man on the field and off it. Headed by Livermore. Harris trying to get down to business. Paul Ifill, who didn't last too long in the semi-final but made an imprint on it, setting up the only goal for Cahill. Fletcher plays with his head up and looking to spot a pass. There wasn't one as far forward as he might have wanted. It went short to Ronaldo. And now Scholes. Now Fletcher looks to lengthen the range of his game, but just kept John O'Shea a bit concerned about Ifill. Jeff Winter has blown in. Surely Manchester United's favour, he's given it.
Well, I don't understand what Ifill's done wrong there, I have to say. He's fouled twice, 3 times before he even tries to get him out the way.
Here's Gary Neville. Fletcher seeing plenty of the ball early on. Brown. Carl Silvestre, who missed out with France against Brazil on Thursday because of this. Scholes. Giggs making a run across the edge of the area from the left-hand side. Millwall quite happy to trade space, but they can't back off too deep. Cahill was a bit late. United kept the ball. Fletcher. Ryan can see that off.
Well, we might just see quite a bit of that in the match. With you, Manchester United, Alex Ferguson's side having possession 35-40 yards from goal, and everybody, sometimes even Neil Harris, but everybody else back behind the ball, particularly centrally, and I think they'll might just allow it to go wide if anywhere, but they won't want it being fed through them.
Messrs Wise and Wilkins watched that Chelsea game at Old Trafford when Eidegaard Jonsson played up front on his own and there was a posse of midfield players. It worked very well for a team in blue that day. And incidentally, Andy, you'll be pleased to know that blue and white from Millwall, when they were founded, there were a lot of Scots in the South London area. It was out of respect for the colours of St Andrews.
Come on, the boys in. They should have told me that earlier.
Silvestre. Keane. Scholes, settler of the semi-final, and also that third round game when they were behind at Villa Park as well, to Aston Villa. And he's made a big contribution, as usual, to the move towards silverware, as they hope it will be for Manchester United. Fletcher. Ronaldo. And left on the ground, and what about that for a cross? Oh, but a surprising thing at the end of it was that Paul Scholes got his timing all wrong.
Well, that's ridiculous from Ronaldo.
Giggs, should be Marshall's ball.
That's a 4-0. Cup 1 trick. Not 9 minutes in. Ridiculous. But what a chance for Paul Scholes. Anyone you would have wanted on that Manchester United, it surely would have been him.
It's almost as if he was bamboozled, as poor Robbie Ryan was for Millwall. Brown. Just been feeling he's been getting his game back together. He's had to listen to Sven-Göran Eriksson say, with England's shortage of centre-backs, that Wes Brown isn't quite the player that he was before his injuries. I'm sure that will come. Keane. Elliott a little boost. Just had a cluster of games at right back recently. They had problems. Alan Dunn, who's one of the substitutes, was the first choice when Muscat got injured in the semi and was out for the season and beyond. Scholes.
Worth it. Just got to break up the game a little, I feel, Millwall. Whether it's by conceding a couple of free kicks, stop Manchester United finding their rhythm, because they are. But this is ridiculous. And amazing that the pace he gets on the cross. Oh, it's just a little unlucky, and I think that's to do with the pitch. We were on it earlier, Teddy Sheringham and I with Richard, and it's a little long, very dry and a bit sticky, and it showed when that ball didn't quite sit up the way Scholes wanted it to.
I felt just off. Neil Harris. Somehow grateful for the work. He hasn't seen much of the ball yet.
No, he will be happy with this. He's just off. I mean, Wes Brown takes a chance, stepping out as he does, and he got the decision.
A year ago, Andy, we saw Southampton really come out with something similar tactically. Premiership club they certainly are, but they were big underdogs against Arsenal. The problem comes if you go behind,
yes,
as they did.
Particularly early on. But I can't believe that Dennis Wise and Ray Wilkins wouldn't have discussed that with the players. That should we concede a goal in the opening 20 minutes, this is what will happen.
Ryan. Another one that could have gone either way. It's gone against Millwall again. Tim Cahill has spoken out about it. He's a player with quite a lengthy disciplinary record. He's going to start next season with a 3-game suspension. Just managed to juggle the bookings around and a red card since the semi-final, so that he didn't miss the final, unlike Danny Dicchio, whom we must spare a thought of sympathy. Suspended today, the day. John O'Shea. Giggs pushing it back. Almost got it back the second time. That's very good tracking back by Paul Ifill.
Yeah, he'll obviously want to go the other way. He'd love to be able to do that against John O'Shea and be doing that in the other penalty area. But this is the offside. Looking at you know, now watch Wes Brown. I mean, I'm not so sure he is offside when he heads this, but he starts to go, and as he's heading it, it's one of those that you're always going to get 9 times out of 10 as a defender as soon as you cross like that. But you're taking a risk.
Well, Millwall have relaunched the career of Andy Marshall, but he's only on a short-term contract with the South London club. Negotiations, both parties hope, will take place after the final is done and dusted. And Gary Neville knows Andy Marshall. They were in the same England youth set up together. Paul Scholes as well. Nicky Butt comes from that age group. Well, that will, I suppose, a show of over-ambition by Manchester United. It's just the sort of thing that will encourage Millwall and their supporters. Elliott with a throw. Fletcher gets in the way. Scholes.
That's a good ball.
It's Harris. Seen out of harm's way by Silvestre, but it's been well documented the serious illness that Neil Harris has survived to get back into football with Millwall. Scored nearly 100 goals for the club on the other side of the treatment for cancer. Ronaldo. Fletcher. Stabbed forward by Keane. Lawrence was tight on Van Nistelrooy. Silvestre taking it down. Giggs. Manchester United have been here since Wednesday. Ronaldo. Millwall came a day later. And their players came for a look around the Millennium Stadium yesterday. Manchester United chose not to. It just didn't work with their training schedule.
No. They've been here before.
Keane. Marshall comes out, and Giggs, to be fair to Ryan Giggs, he was only trying to get the ball past the goalkeeper and follow it in a position where maybe players of less integrity might have tried to involve some contact with the
Lovely
goalkeeper.
Run. Marvin Elliott just gets caught there. Doesn't know whether to take Ronaldo, doesn't know whether to take Giggs. He's honest as the day's long, Ryan Giggs, but we should expect that from him. Andy Masters caught a little here, and the only thing is, Ryan Giggs will be a little disappointed with the heaviness of his touch. The goalkeeper definitely committed himself.
Marshall, one of 3 different goalkeepers Millwall have used in this cup run. His choice, Tony Warner, has had a wretched time with injury. And to be fair to Millwall, they'll point out that they've virtually got a full team of absentees today. Not all of those would be first choice. Well, Ward's left it run, and Lawrence helped him out because, again, that point you were making, Andy, the ball held up.
Just sticks. You know, it doesn't skip through off the surface. Deal with it. You know, he just head the thing clear.
In the end, Matt Lawrence did deal with it, and it was a good job for Millwall that he did. Wise.
You know, that's the kind of ball that you want to force Manchester United into playing for Millwall. You want Ward and Lawrence to be dealing with that. You'd expect them to be heading them clear. But not ducking under it. It isn't going to go through.
There is Lawrence, and he's fouled by Scholes, who I think we should point out is a little fortunate to be playing this FA Cup final.
Yeah, he is. Which might just well mark him down as the match winner. I tell you, it's amazing how it happens. Let's just say it. A typical Scholes challenge we've come to see over the years. Missed time, but no real malice in it.
And Scholes was spared a second yellow card by Steve Bennett against Chelsea, which would have rendered him out of today. But he's here, he's ahead of Giggs. Oh, and he wasn't looking at Giggs, he turned his back, but still got the ball and got the throw in the end off Lawrence.
Well, no one should be surprised that United are dominating possession the opening 20 minutes or so of this match, and Millwall are quite happy to concede ground and allow them to do that.
Well, the onus on Manchester United to force the pace here. Plenty of the ball, but not too often in areas that have looked like hurting their Division 1 opponents. Not yet. Silvestre. O'Shea. Van Nistelrooy. A bit of leaning in, maybe, using his body strength, and Scholes arriving. It was a very un-Manchester United piece of play, really. It was untidy, it was almost just scrummed down around Van Nistelrooy.
He actually worked the initial part of it quite well at the Van Nistelrooy edge of the box. That's where you want him, backing into the penalty area. Ball at his feet, looking for runners off him or trying to turn himself.
Keane is now the subject of the player cam for Sky Digital viewers. Sweeney with the free kick. And Silvestre. Just a little slip at the wrong moment for Harris.
There was. Decent ball in. Fast real threat from Millwall.
It was a quick free kick that made it for Cahill the chance to cross. Ronaldo, first player from Portugal to play in an FA Cup final, and looking to make a lasting memory. And there's a little bit of a tangle with Dennis Wise involved.
I don't know why Fletcher's getting involved. All of a sudden the young lad took exception to something he saw, or he thought he saw.
Yeah, well, Darren Fletcher is sent off, of course, last Saturday for the second time this season. Jeff Winter getting his message across with gestures.
Well, there'll be all sorts going on. Dennis Wise will be indicating to Jeff Winter, trying to influence him, saying, well, he's diving again, ref. You've got to keep your eye on that. That's what he's indicating. Fletcher obviously looked like he was indicating he saw somebody stand on, whether it was Ronaldo or one of his other teammates.
Gary Neville giving him some representation there with Jeff Winter.
Well, I think that's probably what he saw. Going to ground.
Attention please, can I ask all spectators
to please sit down? Comics hadn't invented the character Dennis the Menace, football would have done, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I don't know if they fancy hitting that, but I would. Not me personally, but I'd make sure the teammates hitting that, because he's not had a lot to do with the goalkeeper.
Ronaldo with his right of reply. It was a shot, but Silvestre, who was just following in, wasn't too far away from the defender.
Well, if he'd have pulled it another couple of yards, it would have been an interesting decision for the linesman to have given. Doesn't really get the right direction in that. The centre-back wasn't far away from it.
Well, here's finishing at the top, Jeff Winter. It's been a distinguished career for today's official. Nicely won back from Manchester United by the energy levels of Fletcher and his perception, recognising the opportunity, and a brilliant contribution with the back heel, Giggs. And it was an awkward moment for David Livermore.
Well, they just got stretched for the first time, but it's lovely football. 3 players attracted to the ball. And I'll tell you what, he's arriving right on cue, Scholes, yet again, if that ball hasn't been cut out.
Now Van Nistelrooy is looking at Andy Marshall face on, and it's irritating the goalkeeper, and Matt Lawrence has gone in there to try and help Marshall out.
Well, the referee's gone in as well. He's going to have a little word. I'm not so sure what anyone's complaining about. Van Nistelrooy, as far as I can see, is entitled to stand wherever he likes. If he gives a free kick away, so be it. But what is wrong with him moving in front of the goalkeeper? Absolutely nothing.
What Marshall didn't like is he wasn't looking at the ball at all, he was looking away, and now Jeff Winter, with perhaps an air of diplomacy, has given Millwall a free kick. But it's something you don't see very often, Andy, do you?
No.
I mean, in standing in front of the goalkeeper and looking at the ball is one thing, but he wanted to get in his face like that.
I mean, I still don't see what the offence is. I really don't.
First task for Millwall was to not be out of this final before they're really into it, and they've achieved that, just coming up to the halfway mark in the first half. Not play with any great ambition, but they have played with admirable tactical nous.
Well, they've been organised, they've been fairly disciplined. Manchester United have mainly threatened when they've been counter-attacking, but the Millwall have got themselves a little stretched.
Giggs get past the leggy Elliott, who then loses his footing, and O'Shea. Keane needs 1 goal for 50 for Manchester United, and but for a tremendous stop by Andy Marshall, would have had it in an FA Cup final.
Now there you go, the full-back Marvin Elliott. I talked about there's times to play and times not to play. He overplays way in his own corner. United win the ball back. We talked about the goalkeeper, who said he at some time will make a big save to keep Millwall in it. He's just done that. Great effort from Keane.
Still the pressure on Millwall in terms of a Manchester United corner. Silvestre going towards the near post. Cahill took a bit of a climb. Giggs really smacking it back across. Keane. O'Shea. Van Nistelrooy, Ronaldo rather, who's now turning. Van Nistelrooy's coming in at the far post, and the decision is a corner, and Millwall are in a sticky spell really still since Marvin Elliott got caught down by the corner where Ronaldo's going to spot up this corner kick.
First real moment I could say on this for Millwall.
Harris gets some distance to it after the chest from Eiffel. Incidentally, it's a brand new design of football today with 124 names of clubs woven into the fabric of it. 124 teams that qualified for the FA Cup competition proper. And these are the two that have moved on into the glamour, into the glory.
Yeah, there's caution in certainly Millwall's play, and you can understand that. I'm not about to sit here and criticise him for that. But this is the effort from Keane now. The ball sits up, you can see him quite deliberately just nudge that into the air because he knows what he wants to do. He wants to volley it, he wants to aim, to get some height and then dip it over the goalkeeper. And he comes very, very close to achieving it all. Super save.
It's Marshall who takes the free kick here. Ward. Booted away by Sylvestre. And Nistelrooy has just started to get a bit of form back in the last couple of Premiership games in which he's scored. Livermore didn't make the grade at Arsenal. Millwall paid £30,000.
That's not a good kick, that.
Ryan. Sweeney. Should have been linking up with Scotland's under-21 party. He goes there tomorrow. He crosses here in towards Eiffel. With Sylvestre at his back. He's not appealing for anything. And as Andy says, Millwall have got a corner.
You just wonder, somebody with a natural left foot might have swung at this. You can see how he wanted to control the ball. He's naturally right-footed. And I think when you're that close in a game like this, if it's bouncing like that, just have a swing at it. Hook it with your left foot, you just don't know.
In their first FA Cup final, it's their first corner.
And Manchester United a little sloppy in getting out to deal with that.
Sweeney.
Flag stayed down. That's another corner. Well, if Darren Ward's at the back post on that, then he probably scores, you know. They really didn't get out and deal with it, Manchester United. Then they just go to sleep. Everyone's dragged towards the ball. Flag stayed down, didn't go. Linesman wasn't interested in offside at all. This won't do them any harm, Millwall. A little bit of pressure of their own. Roy Keane just gesturing Van Nistelrooy back this time so that they don't get caught. 2v1 at the corner.
Sweeney takes it. Howard is able to find space to grab it. Ryan. Manchester United were trying to orchestrate a counter-attack, and now they've got to turn and defend again against Eiffel. And Harris. That's too long for Paul Eiffel.
But that's, I mean, the trio of players, Eiffel, Harris, Cahill, those are the three that Ray Wilkins and Dennis Wise would be certainly are saying, you know, if we're going to get a goal, well, one of you three is most likely to get it in open play. Because they're I think they're the most talented, the most dangerous ones that they've got.
Nistelrooy probably fouled Lawrence then, just into trying to play an advantage. And with Millwall and their passing ethic, then it is an advantage that he can... it's a bit high from Wise. The ball was off the ground though.
Dennis Wise wants a free kick. That's where he's having a little chip at the referee. It was high from both Scholes and Wise were feet up to win the ball.
Ronaldo again crossing early. Ryan, Ward.
No, just don't overdo it.
Ryan heard your words. Time for a bit of common sense at the end. But we all know it's been a very difficult season for Manchester United. All the pressure here is on the Premiership club that only finished third in the Premiership, lost 9 league games, way below expectations that, and been some other difficulties. The Rio Ferdinand affair, of course. Sir Alec falling out with his horse racing friends.
Disappointment. It was a good ball up to Tim Cahill. He's just started to wander a little bit, Cahill. I think that would be part of the plan as they bedded into the game, because Harris does need a bit of support. Cahill's the one who you think is going to offer it from centrally.
It's a long and fairly straightforward ball for Millwall to deal with from Gary Neville.
You can see how it's not running out again, is it, Martin? You know, any ball played over the top now isn't a bad ball, because it's just going to stick. It's first bounce. It's going to be pretty fierce and it's going to go out.
Wise. Definitely playing within himself. If you would have said to Dennis Wise last night, you'll get through the first half an hour, I think he'd have taken it. Because, there was real concern. Giggs and Nistelrooy. All confusion with Ryan. I think he wanted some help from the goalkeeper. Ronaldo. And help Millwall get in the end is that the shot hits the side netting.
He did nothing in the end, Ronaldo. That's his disappointment. That Ryan doesn't really deal with this. A little bit of confusion once it's up in the air like that. Son obviously playing a part. Really troubled the full-back. He does nothing in the end. You see Giggs is just, as it comes down and lays this, when Ryan Giggs starts to make a run from the edge of the box, I don't think Ronaldo sees him. But it's a poor effort in the end.
Just one previous cup tie between these two, a third round match at the Old End back in 1953. Manchester United won that right at the end, 1-0 with a goal from Stan Pearson. Now times have changed. Keane, Neville, Van Nistelrooy. Ward's played against United before a couple of times in his Watford days. Livermore just forced himself in front of Keane cleverly. Lawrence.
Yeah, just cut that. Decent idea. Harris made the run forward, trying to stretch it a little.
Backhand switching to Neil Harris, Millwall, Sky Digital viewers. By their own admission, have been pretty appalling since the semi-final. Only one of 8 games. Giggs.
He wants a handball. He immediately claimed for it. Would have been harsh. Might have struck the arm of Marvin Elliott. He's just going over Ryan Giggs and he's just having a word with Jeff Winter. I just get the feeling there might have been a bit of intent in his block.
Ronaldo to take the corner. Oh, it comes to Scholes, and so far the player who has really been crucial to this FA Cup run for Manchester United just hasn't found the range from, 3 attempts now?
Yeah, you can't give him too many opportunities. Now, tells a little story. Not quite all of it, but it tells a story. Only the one on target, that fantastic save from that Roy Keane effort.
Yeah, it's such a compliment to Sir Alex Ferguson in the 18th year now as manager of Manchester United. They'd never lost an FA Cup tie to a club from a lower division. Ronnie Wilkins, of course, played for Manchester United and won the FA Cup just prior to Sir Alex's arrival in the earlier 80s. Keane, Fletcher, now Scholes. Manchester United trying to make the most of the favourite tag here. Millwall paying them respect of backing off, congesting and trying to create plenty of situations like that where an opponent might even be heard to say, well, have a shot, so the odds are against you.
Yeah, not a great effort, but it's almost like a practice setup, attack against defence. That's the way Millwall have started the game. They're prepared to drop deep, give possession away, let United have the ball and say, go on then, you're the favourites, you're supposed to have the better players, let's see if you can play your way through us.
You mentioned Walter Smith, of course. It was Walter sitting with Sir Alex there.
I just think it's sometime they'll open them up again.
Well, if there's a surprising element about this FA Cup final, Millwall, of course, how about this? The Champions League final, Monaco against Porto. Sky Sports 1, showing us from 6 o'clock.
Now, it's in areas like this, if you're spending all your time working on the training ground and defending, then you must then make good use of your set plays. And what's important when this ball goes in is to make sure that you got this surrounded, that if it comes back out again, that one of your players is picking it up, like this ball here, just like that. That's better, keeping the play going.
I feel. And he get a cross in here for Millwall. And it was Harris almost dropped for Peter Sweeney. Just for the record, that passage of play did start when there were a couple of stewards on the pitch for reasons that I don't need to go into very deeply.
There's always one, isn't there?
Neville. Ronaldo. Now O'Shea. He's got plenty of attacking ambitions from left back. So I feel to keep an eye on. Lawrence, Ryan. Made a bit of a meal of defending then.
Yeah, just once or twice. I mean, it's admirable that they want to play all the time, but as I've said again, you just can't do it all the time. There are some situations where you just have to put your foot through it.
Cahill. There's plenty of family here over from Australia. He's been talking about the great thrill he got when Craig Johnston, of course, from Australia, scored in the FA Cup final for Liverpool back in 1986. Ward. Sweeney still going strong, and then Neville chased by Cahill. Pressure applied a little further up the pitch by Millwall that time. It's Tim Cahill's 250th game for the club, and judging by the rumour mill, possibly be one of his last, because he is one of those Division 1 players being marked out as potential Premiership talent. And I feel there's another.
Yeah, he is another.
That sort of talent. He's left O'Shea. Harris trying to reposition in the middle. I feel decided to chance his arm, or his right foot to be totally accurate.
Well, he just tried to hit that through Sylvester in the end. First part was very, very good. He really didn't shift the ball enough when he got up against Sylvester. If he moves it half a yard to just alter Sylvester's position, and he's got a better chance. Or even if he gets it across goal, two teammates.
Sorry, Andy, Ryan Giggs was really annoyed there. There was a great chance to counter-attack. They got some space after this attack from Millwall.
They didn't make the move, but see here, he's running in a straight line, you see, and he doesn't really shift the ball off of that track. He tries to really go through Sylvester. But that's what I feel would like to be doing, more to John O'Shea, is running them that way. But it takes time. They bed themselves in. They haven't conceded an early goal. That would be uppermost in this plan of Dennis Wise and Ray Wilkins.
Dennis Wise is almost in the back line. He's trying to keep track of Scholes. Lawrence was saying play it back to the goalkeeper, but Ward gave the captain the ball himself. O'Shea. Just be a slight danger period this for Millwall. One or two players might be thinking, hang on, half-time might be approaching. We're still 0-0. So often at this stage of the game, the last 7 or 8 minutes of the first half, teams who've come to basically defend and hit on the break, they just get a bit more vulnerable. Manchester United tot up another corner. So Millwall need all their concentration, all their diligence Had plenty of time on the training ground.
I just
last
wonder,
couple of weeks.
Gary Neville just edged up there at the corner of the box. Don't quite see him, but he was showing an interest when
Keane trying to flick it on. Gary Neville's got the ball via Fletcher. Keane not really pressed, able to cross. So Shea had a swing at it. And no way out for Millwall because everyone had tracked back.
There's his numbers.
Real testing, 6 or 7 minutes left for the Division 1 team in this first half. They passed the previous test today, not all with flying colours. They certainly passed them. Scholes trying to ease it forward. Lawrence got a piece of it, and they need him again. Matt Lawrence, who's only recently been switched to central defence. He was a right back. He was a right back on the way out of the club under the previous manager, Mark McGee. And of course, we'll be bringing Brighton to Cardiff shortly. Fletcher trying to disguise the pass, but it struck Cahill.
You're not going to run the whole length of the pitch on your own. That's the thing.
Not unless you're Thierry Henry.
Yeah.
Keane. Giggs. And you can see the problem that Manchester United are having. They get so far, but no further. Eiffel. Stopped this time by O'Shea. Helped out by his fellow countryman and soon to be reunited in the international squad, Roy Keane. It's a side issue to the Keane story over the last few weeks. Ronaldo. Cahill though. Wise. Only Kenny Dalglish and Glenn Hoddle, player managers before in an FA Cup final. Dennis Wise played in Glenn Hoddle's game and they lost 10 years ago to Manchester United 4-0. Keane was in the United team, of course, and Giggs survivors from that final. And it's Ronaldo, past Elliott, and it's squeezed off the line by Ward after Marshall had made a partial save.
Two big saves from the goalkeeper in this half, and a little bit of help from his mate in front of him. Gary Neville, that's as far as I've seen him forward in this match. He's not got an awful lot to aim at. The goalkeeper just did enough.
Scholes again. Oh, well, that's his best effort by far, and it was not far away.
You can't give him too many opportunities. He's too good. Well, this is a chance. He just opens himself up looking for the far corner. That's an important block, and an even more important covering back from Darren Ward.
And it remains Manchester United 0, Millwall 0. Not going to form or league status as yet. It would be frustrating for Sir Alex Ferguson. Keane. Seeing plenty of the ball, Roy Keane, but not seeing plenty of teammates in advanced positions. They've got room in which to work.
Fullbacks might have to do a bit more if they stick this formation, Manchester United. Saw Gary Neville produce a cross a little while ago.
It had to be properly timed.
Well, that must be. Well, that's not a corner, because the referee's taking the easy way out here.
On Fletcher.
Well, I don't think that Long's got anywhere near that.
Manchester United had a little protest and then quickly got on with the job. Half-time so close and the sanctuary of it for Millwall. Keane. Neville. Gary Neville's cross. Ronaldo! Well, you couldn't say it wasn't coming.
I said they might want the full-backs to get more involved, because I don't think they have been enough. But Neville did then. What a part he's played. They want the ball right across the face, but look at Gary Neville just edge of the screen, and Millwall don't really see him. No one picks him up. But watch Ronaldo. He started the widest of all the players, and it's just his movement. Standing, the Millwall players. It's probably Dennis Wise. He doesn't go and attack this cross. He's waiting and waiting. Ronaldo goes across the front of him. And really, if you get enough power in this and don't hit the goalkeeper, you'll score. Look at Wisey waiting. Fatal mistake.
Yes, it was young triumphing over old there. And at 19, Cristiano Ronaldo, by my reckoning, becomes the 4th youngest goalscorer in FA Cup final. There were 2 18-year-olds, Norman Whiteside of Manchester United, of course, Johnny Sissons of West Ham, and Nicolas Anelka 6 years ago, slightly younger when he scored for Arsenal. And then you find now Cristiano Ronaldo's name up in lights, and Manchester United have been knocking at the Millwall door, have now found a way through it. And this period, really, the last 15 minutes or so of the first half, always looked potentially a vulnerable area, and that's the way it's turned out. I feel.
Well, the only good thing about the timing of the goal, it will give Messrs Wilkin and Wise very quickly some time to get in there and get organised and rechange things. Sometimes you lose a goal in the middle of a game and there's a lot of time to go. You can't really change things, it becomes impossible. At least they'll get the message over at half-time and what they want to do.
Only Liverpool in the last 10 FA Cup finals have won the cup having conceded a goal. And maybe the first to say they were a bit lucky.
Yeah, they were.
With the greatest respect to Michael Owen and Gerard Houlier's team. So Manchester United out to finish a season that has lacked a few flourishes with the flourish that the FA Cup can bring. And the first Portuguese player to grace such an occasion has made an imprint. At a damaging time to Millwall morale, potentially. And there are a few seconds remaining. There was only 1 minute up on the board. Is this going to add to Millwall's misery here? Jeff Winter's obviously going to let the free kick be taken. Added time to added time prior to half-time. That's why he's trying to get inside Paul Scholes' shirt.
Well, they better watch it, I tell you. Paul Scholes has got every right to question this, because there's marking and there's overstepping the mark. And that last incident, after he'd had a word with him, and Scholes went to make a run, Dennis had just grabbed him round the midriff, trying to haul him away. The only fortunate thing for Dennis Wise is the ball wasn't back in play.
There's still the Giggs free kick to come. There's still some jockeying going on, but finally Giggs does put it in, and the half-time whistle goes, and it, for much of the first half, was about Millwall defending capably against Manchester United's best efforts. It's ended really with irritation here, but United, with their frowns, should remember the reason to smile, which was Ronaldo's header. So late in the first half, it looked as though Dennis Wise and his team would get to the break at 0-0. That hasn't happened. The half-time score, Manchester United 1, Millwall 0.
A goal scored by Cristiano Ronaldo. 1-0 to Manchester United. It had been coming. It has come at a terrible time for Millwall, who had done so well for so long.
Actually more physical, but it's not. They've got everybody back behind the ball and they've worked very hard.
There's the one incident with Ronaldo where maybe
somebody's trodden on somebody there. But other than that, there's not been any real flashpoints, is there?
He man-marked Wise on the way in, didn't he? You could see Dennis was getting a little frustrated on the way in the tunnel at half-time, but Jeff Winter stayed with him. Ruud van Nistelrooy is on player cam for the first 15 minutes of this second half. We're interactive, of course. Push the red button, follow the instructions. United lead by 1-0. Commentators Andy Gray and Martin Tyler.
Thank you, Richard. Whatever happens to Millwall in the second half, it's been a great year for London football. Crystal Palace and West Ham here next Saturday for the playoffs. Arsenal and Chelsea already confirmed in a unique top two in the Premiership. Fulham's highest placing in their entire history. Charlton's best for over 50 years. QPR promotion to Division 1. And Millwall, well, I suppose looking for the world of miracles now against the might of Manchester United, having conceded that goal to Cristiano Ronaldo so close to half-time. Somehow they have to find a more positive side to their game. They certainly have got a couple of players who can extricate themselves from this Millwall mess at the moment, with I feel being one of them.
Yeah, well, there's no change in the setup. The lads were debating in the studio, felt that they had to change. I wasn't so sure that they would straight away. I think they'll see 10 minutes of the game, second half, and then they might.
Well, Fletcher's gone a long way here. It's a tremendous solo run by Darren Fletcher. Ryan Giggs-like, if you like.
If he had Ryan Giggs' left foot, he might have scored. He ends up prodding it with his right foot from the wrong sort of angle, but look where he's travelled from, pretty much the halfway line. And well, they're token gestures, because once you get into the box, you really can't hang a leg out.
Giggs. I'm sure the message from the Manchester United management: go out, get the second goal, and get it signed, sealed and delivered.
Put the game to bed.
Giggs. Ronaldo.
If he'd have gone earlier, Gary Neville, and there's no reason why he can't go earlier, Martin, because he's got no concern with anything behind him. He's got his two centre-backs that are quite happy with Neil Harris between them.
And Ronaldo's gone chasing across, whether he was chastened by Gary Neville's remarks. But now he's having a word with the right back, as if to say, well, you could have done a bit more to help me.
Well, there's no doubt he could have done. You know, Sweeney and Livermore had gone to the ball, been attracted to Ronaldo. There was a huge gap that he rolled the ball into. But Gary Neville just sat back. That's what I mean. I think that they're a little bit concerned, O'Shea and Gary Neville. I don't understand why, because if the wide players, Eiffel and Sweeney, had pushed that far back, then they should be able to, without worrying what's behind them, push as far forward as they want.
Ward and Cahill trying to juggle a way through. Elliott in early. Headed away by Silvestre. Keane. You saw there, we're just recognising a moment, more players going forward. But of course they've got to get back on defensive duty just to stay in the game at 1-0.
Yeah, there's still a few forward at set plays like that.
Scholes, Giggs, and Jeff Winter might have just run out of patience with Dennis Wise here.
I think he will have done. Pretty certain this will be the first booking of the match for the Millwall boss. He's high against Ryan Giggs and a little late. He might have got away with that if he hadn't been involved so much. He's just got to be careful now.
And he's 37 years old, Dennis Wise. He's been in the game for such a long time, and at his size you have to be able to look after yourself, but there are ways and there are ways. He's taken to management very naturally. He's not had 40 games in the job compared to what, something like 1600 plus for Sir Alex Ferguson. It's a real mismatch in that sense. He's got the thrill of playing. And he's got Paul Scholes as his immediate opponent. Keep an eye on that, now that Wise has been booked in particular. come on. And Silvestre takes the free kick. Ronaldo. Here's Livermore. And Harris, two of Millwall's longer serving players.
I've got to get hold of it.
Keane. He's been able to receive passes like that with a bit more freedom than Paul Scholes. That's the job that Wise is doing. Ronaldo. Keane. Step overs, the brilliant footwork, and a left-footed shot from Gary Neville at the end of it. He's chipped in with a couple of Premiership goals at Old Trafford in the latter stages of the season. I think that was asking a bit much.
Yeah, you see at times why Sir Alex Ferguson raves about this boy. He often talks about the players made him sign him when they played over there in Portugal, and he terrorised Manchester United in the game, and the players were all saying what a talent he was, and he's just going to get, I think, better and better when he learns the job, and I think he's improved this season.
Well, it's his 40th game for Manchester United, 6 goals now, and a vast majority of those have come in the last 3 months.
Whereas his other contribution, it's what he can do to create.
It's Harris, Eiffel trying to come up with a spot of number 7 magic in Millwall's colours. And I guess some people somewhere will make a bit out of the current Manchester United number 7 scoring a goal here in the first season after David Beckham's departure. I'm sure no one will be more delighted than David Beckham himself. Ward. And free kicks given against Eiffel for jumping into John O'Shea. Ray Wilkins still barking the orders. Keane. Scholes was trying to make one of those moves to get the ball to feet, and Wise staying with him again, but this time Scholes has shaken him off, but not to Cahill. The difference is that Manchester United can almost meander around this part of the pitch now they are in front. Much of the first half 0-0, it was frustrating to them. O'Shea. Fletcher. Keane, who struck a brilliant shot in the first half. Scholes! Marshall parries, and Lawrence was first to it. Great defending by Matt Lawrence. That's when a goalkeeper needs
great football
teammates to be alert. But it was a good start by Andy Marshall.
They've worked that ball right across the pitch, Manchester United. Super play, and he only needs a yard or two, and you're giving him too much time, too much space. He uses a defender to try and whip it round the keeper. That's a pretty good save again from Andy Marshall.
And you have to be pretty nippy to beat Van Nistelrooy to a loose ball, and Lawrence was. That's Ronaldo again.
It's something we don't talk about, but what he has got is good spring. We've seen it on a few occasions. I know he scored with a header, but that was more about movement rather than his spring. But you've given him too many attempts at goal, Paul Scholes, but they worked the ball from left to right quite beautifully here. And he just half opens himself. There he's using the defender just to try and arrow it into that corner. It's an excellent save at the end of it.
Well, he scored the second goal 5 years ago in the FA Cup win over Newcastle at Wembley. And he was very close to repeating the feat here. Harris. He's been pretty firm with those Millwall forward challenges, and Harris and Eiffel in particular have been penalised several times by Jeff Winter. O'Shea. Van Nistelrooy. He's got to the ball and shook Van Nistelrooy up in the process. Livermore. Drop one for Eiffel. Interesting contest that. John O'Shea actually started in league football on loan at Bournemouth and played against Millwall, and Eiffel actually scored for Bournemouth at the Den 4 years ago. Played by Keane. Fletcher, they pick a route out of trouble here. Pressed by Elliott.
Yeah, just got to keep them in there. Start to get one or two players forward. You notice that crossfield post from Livermore to Eiffel. He was high up the pitch.
They haven't got an equal share of the tickets, the Millwall fans. You've read all about that, I'm sure, but they've got the capacity to certainly match Manchester United in terms of noise. Just feel they need something to trigger off their belief again, the supporters. They were stunned by the Ronaldo goal so close to half-time. Elliott saying, give it to me. And Marshall did just that. Cahill. Eiffel. Back to Elliott again, to Wise. The controlled possession would help Millwall's belief. Such a big gap in the middle of Division 1, even though Manchester United disappointed to finish third in the Premiership. You will remember the first team since the start of the Premiership era from outside of the Premiership to play in the FA Cup final. The financial void is vast. Lawrence trying to take some initiative here, a give and a go. Goes on. Just run into Eiffel's space, but he finds space elsewhere. Cahill, and Lawrence was on his way back.
Yeah.
And Elliott takes over. Wise, it's a bit more like it from Millwall. And out comes Howard. Just looked for a moment as though Eiffel might get himself in front of the goalkeeper as the ball dropped.
Well, I think if he went for the ball higher, to meet it higher up, he would have got there in front of the goalkeeper.
And Jeff Winter given the no, he hasn't given the free kick.
No, he hasn't. That's a tough one. I always feel a little sorry for defenders when it's that close, because there is nothing you can do about it. There's nowhere to go if you're a defender, and I think the fact that Ryan Giggs played that about 25 yards in front of him might have just influenced the referee, but you usually get them, I have to say.
No hometown decision for the Welshman. Ronaldo, this is in Portugal's squad for Euro 2004 and has given a foretaste of the excitement to come in that tournament with his contribution here.
Yeah, he's been bright, productive, has a goal. Not been a bad day for the young lad.
And for Sir Alex Ferguson, who's shown the faith not just in signing him but regularly playing him, and Fletcher as well. He's talked about regeneration, building a new team. Nothing like getting some silverware in your hands as a youngster to let you know what Manchester United is all about. Ronaldo flies off Robbie Ryan for a corner.
Well, he's just attracting two players to him all the time. Again, Gary Neville, if he wants it, can get the ball time and time again as soon as it goes to Ronaldo.
Giggs to take the corner. Wes Brown, who's only scored once ever for Manchester United, making a late run. He stayed on the edge of the area. Now he's coming round the back is Brown, trying to steer it back across the face of the goal, and he might get to that. Sweeney trying to stop him. Cahill prepared to take a touch. Foul by Van Nistelrooy. And Van Nistelrooy's shorts were being tugged, but Jeff Winter called it all even, and it's a Millwall throw. Andy Marshall, really in both halves, has kept Millwall in it. 3 excellent saves. Keane, and still Manchester United search for the second. Keane comes out to Ronaldo. A thorn in Millwall's side, this side.
Well, he has the ability, we talk about Thierry Henry, the ability to run at such pace and have control of the football. I think this boy's got that ability too.
Nice turn by Fletcher. Pass was intercepted by Wise, and then Paul Scholes got a bit of the ball. He jarred Wise in the process. But this is Eiffel.
Stood his ground well enough, John O'Shea.
Yes, I guess he was slightly vulnerable once Philip Neville was likely to lose a midfield spot as to whether he might have been deployed at left back. Ronaldo. And even when Ryan was in a position actually to deal with it, he was forced back and so uncomfortable. But Manchester United have gained another corner.
Well, he's hardly crossed the halfway line, Robbie Ryan, has he, for them? And neither has Marvin Elliott. The fullbacks have just been so preoccupied with what Ronaldo and Giggs are doing and where they are, even when they don't have the ball.
Ronaldo with the corner. Silvestre! Well, it was Dennis Wise who was right back on his line.
There was an injury there as well, and Robbie Ryan, I think, clearing it up as it just dropped ever so invitingly for Wes Brown. He was plunging in after it. He felt sure, oh, this is a goal. You just watch as Dennis Wise gets ahead on that, but look at Wes Brown, in he goes. And Robbie Ryan just manages to get his foot on it. I don't think it's over. Gets there just in time. Brown thinks he's got a goal. All he's got is a cut in the top of his head.
Mikhail Silvestre, of course, did get a goal here in Cardiff in the Community Shield right at the start of the season. But great work between them, between Wise and Ryan, to keep it at 1-0 and keep Millwall still with a chance. The problem for them is making an opportunity.
Yeah.
I just wonder where that's going to come from. They will, of course, I guess, loosen this attempt to strangle the game in midfield and get one or two players forward from that department. Eiffel's trying to do it on the far side. There's been very little down the left.
Did we see a contested drop ball there? That one
collector's item.
Goodness me, what's going on in this game?
No wonder Jeff Winter's having to retire. Here's Roy Keane trying to measure the cross. Giggs to get there. Elliott's tall and athletic, and Eiffel trying to run away from O'Shea. But he needs some help. And he gets it from Cahill, but again he's having to do his work in Millwall's own half. Eiffel, Cahill, they're roommates, great pals, and maybe between them they can find something here to change the face of this FA Cup final.
Oh, that's goalkeeper inviting him out. When you tower it up that height, even if it's 12 yards out. Neil Harris has had a little kick at the goalkeeper. I'd have just let that go. Why on earth bring it back just to give him a free kick when Ronaldo's got the ball at his feet and going forward into space?
Yes, it's penalised Manchester United more than Millwall.
It's just a little nick at him on the way past.
Neville. Ronaldo. Cahill as the player cam. Ryan Giggs on the run. Here's a great run.
Penalty.
And it's Livermore who fouls Giggs. And Jeff Winter had a pretty easy decision to make.
Well, he's struggling Livermore, isn't he? As soon as he does that and goes to ground, you cannot go through a player like that. He might claim he's touched the ball, but he's gone through Ryan Giggs. Giggs does brilliantly because he gets his body between him and the ball. And now he says, go on then, tackle me if you dare. There he did. It's a penalty.
no matter which way you look at it.
It's not been the greatest of season for Ruud van Nistelrooy from the penalty spot. He failed in a shootout on this ground in the Community Shield, although Manchester United won the day. If this goes in, they'll surely win this day. And in it goes. Ruud van Nistelrooy rams in the penalty and reinforces Manchester United claims on the FA Cup today.
How emphatic was that? Certainly didn't show any anxiety, did he? That he might not be quite at his best at the moment. But I tell you, it's funny how goals come along. 2 in his last 2 games were a warning to Millwall that he might just get another today. Another he has. Simply, you don't save them when they're up that high. You do not save them. I think you might know it's another one in the bag.
It's a strange FA Cup record in terms of goal scoring, Ruud van Nistelrooy. Every time he scored in the competition, he's gone on to score a second goal in the game. 10 goals prior to this, 5 doubles, including, of course, this season against Manchester City in the 5th round and Fulham in the quarter-finals. Ryan. Well, now it's risk-taking for Millwall, but they, of course, in pushing more players forward, could be really put to the sword in the last quarter of this FA Cup final. But it's Harris. Cahill. Now Sweeney. Scholes gets the tackle in. First FA Cup final penalty for 10 years since Manchester United scored 2 against Chelsea and Dennis Wise. A case of deja vu for Dennis in terms of seeing the ball on the spot and him being on the wrong end of that decision for an FA Cup final referee. It was David Ellery, if memory serves me right, 10 years ago, and of course Eric Cantona did the job twice. He's getting mesmerised. Yes. Robbie Ryan.
He's had a tough time. He's been in good form, Cristiano Ronaldo recently, and he's brought that into the game today. The wide men have been important. Ronaldo with the first goal, Giggs with a fantastic run that got the penalty. So the 2 wide men have played the part from Manchester United so far. Their ability to roam as well, haven't just been stuck on the wide areas, but they've roamed the width of the pitch as well at times.
Neville. Silvestre. Well, it's very quiet around those who are wearing blue and white. And Manchester United able to relax, and that often encourages the accuracy in the passing as well. Keane clip in towards Van Nistelrooy. Giggs, Millwall can't clear it. Roy Keane skips past Sweeney. Scholes. Heroic block by Wise.
Well, they are totally dominant at the moment. They're chasing shadows, Millwall.
Giggs. Scholes. And a good appreciation of the danger by Elliott. They haven't got a great deal on the bench, Millwall, to try and improve their prospects. Ronaldo.
One goal. I'll tell you what, a yard higher, Matt. And I think Paul Scholes is coming in behind Van Nistelrooy. Well, this is the incident. Look at this run from Giggs. Robbie Ryan, if he's not had Ronaldo, he's had Giggs running at him. He's had a torrid time, and he was left in Giggs' wake, and Livermore could do no more than just bring him down, and it's a pretty good penalty.
Well, when you get that sort of height, goalkeepers will tell you just can't reach them.
No,
the risk, of course, in trying to lift it is that you hit the bar or put it over the bar, but Ruud van Nistelrooy got the geometry absolutely spot on, and that was a pressure penalty in the circumstances for him, Because well, it's only as recently as a couple of weeks ago he wasted a chance against Chelsea from the spot. Didn't win that game, and always a risk at 1-0 that they might not have won this one, but I don't think there'll be any takers for Millwall's chances now. Clubs had met 13 times before, only one Millwall win, and 1 in 13 was about the odds many thought before the game.
Yeah.
Manchester United even a shorter price.
It's a keep ball session. Well, it was.
Harris, look how deep. He's the one forward.
Yeah.
Lawrence.
Well, there's two things. Yeah, the change and you risk maybe losing another couple, if that's the case, by trying to chase it a little bit and change the way you're playing, or you accept that you're beaten, but you don't want to be humiliated, so you keep the system the same as Southampton did last year and lost 2-0. At the moment, it's the latter. They're not changing it. They've got everybody, like now, behind the ball. Manchester United don't have to go searching for a goal. They'll just probe. A few tricks here and there.
Yes, Millwall need the wizard who supplies the magic of the FA Cup and all those spells. And all credit to the supporters, and we shouldn't forget the Millwall supporters. When you talked about fans from that part of South London prior to this season even, it would be with a certain amount of trepidation. Theo Pafitis, with his membership scheme, has weeded out so many of the troublemakers and got a fan base which I'm sure will widen by the publicity that the Cup has brought. And good luck to Millwall Football Club in winning that battle. But winning this battle against Manchester United, there's a tall order at the start, and it's gigantic now. Lawrence.
You just always felt if Millwall were going to win this game, they could only win it 1-0. I didn't think they could outscore Manchester United. Certainly didn't think they'd get many chances. You look through history, it tells you it's a pretty popular score for the underdog when they win 1-0.
Giggs.
He's played well today, Ryan Giggs. A lot of talk about Ronaldo, obviously, and his goal in that, but Ryan Giggs has a pretty effective game for Manchester United.
There will be more goals to come for Manchester United if they have the appetite. A little bit like Wednesday's UEFA Cup final, when Valencia got 2 in front against Marseille and didn't need to pursue further glories.
Well, they're just beginning to find their voice, the Millwall fans. I think they realise that the game's over and they'll be hugely disappointed. They're discussing what they might do. They're going to have to change it. I think that's a certainty. But how they do that, that's been the little debate.
If you look at the options on the bench, Mark McCammon, who is a striker, has just played 14 games for the club, only 7 this season because of a knee injury. Curtis Weston, who we mentioned right at the start, has only played 24 minutes of first-team football and would be the youngest FA Cup finalist if he gets on. Barry Cogan is a wide right player, 3 games for the club, all as a substitute.
So what you're saying is they're struggling for subs a little bit.
Well, it's a big decision to take off a senior player. I mean, Dennis Wise and Ray Wilkins have got together what senior players are left to make up this 11. They would love to have had Dicchio and his aerial ability.
That's been a big miss for them because the way they've played, it's not so much Dicchio's goals, but it's what he gives them and how he helps the other players, like Harris, Cahill and Eiffel in particular.
Gary Neville was given offside,
wasn't it? That was close. Everything's just starting to flow for them.
Well, they are going to make a double change.
You look at this, Martin, as this ball's played. I mean, that's... I tell you, that's one of those borderline ones that should have been allowed to go. I don't think he's offside. But they got the decision.
Well, Barry Cogan, who's been a substitute in 3 of the last 4 games in Division 1, his only 3 appearances. Comes on for Robbie Ryan, who could be saying goodbye to Millwall. Still scope for negotiation, but he's turned down the contract on offer. David Livermore will go to left back, I would think. And, well, it's Neil Harris who's run, hardly getting many touches of the ball. And the giant figure of Smart McCammon, who's played here twice before, actually, for Brentford, but lost on both occasions. He had a big finish last season, got himself a 2-year deal, but has missed most of this campaign.
Well, the change made, of course, but with 15 minutes left, might be too little, too late. But how they'd love to get at least a goal, wouldn't they? To give the supporters really something to remember the trip down here too.
Well, even a spell of pressure.
Yeah.
Keane, that's nicked from him by McCammon. That's a slip by O'Shea.
It's a handball, isn't it? Tried to play advantage, but when Roy Keane got the tackle in, he had to give the free kick.
I don't think there was much show of advantage, and certainly anyway Wise does get the free kick. Hogan. Now Scholes.
Fulham's gone right up top, alongside McCammon as well. For the first time they have changed the system, 4 across the middle now, 2 up top.
It's going to ask a lot more of Dennis Wise in terms of mobility, and it's going to restrict Cahill to join forces with the attackers, but there's a chance that's got to be taken. Ronaldo. Fletcher. Oh, and O'Shea wasn't sure what was behind him, and there's been a couple of moments where Manchester United have lost their concentration.
And that's all it's been, it's losing the concentration. I think that Manchester United players are pretty confident this game's won. A bit of blood on the face of the skipper won't trouble him any.
Pretty easy ride for Tim Howard.
I was just trying to think there, you read my mind, Mr. Tyler. So I'm wondering whether he's actually made a save.
Talked at the start about Sir Alex Ferguson suggesting that there might be a slightly sentimental substitution. Wise kicks the ball out because Van Nistelrooy's got a problem. So
he's
can
up
be
again.
sporting.
He's up though. Well, he was sporting because he's the one that got him.
Risky when you go for a ball like that when you're carrying a yellow card.
So Alex not giving the ball back yet. Nobody wants it.
The legends of the FA Cup certainly includes Alex Ferguson. 12 minutes or so away from being a winning manager in an FA Cup final team for a 5th time. I remember no one else had done even 4. Nope. The referee went one way, then the other. Ryan Giggs, a winner in all United successes in the 90s, 94, 96, 99, played in the losing final of 95 as well. And Sir Bobby Charlton, who spans the generations at the Old Trafford club, and has been quoted in the papers today saying that Sir Alex Ferguson has a job at Manchester United for life. Scholes still chasing it down.
Yeah, he'd be wanting to go. I mean, he's just a born goal scorer, and he's in a cup final. He's playing against a side from the First Division. He knows that there must be a wonderful opportunity to get his name on the score sheet, to get a goal, another goal in a cup final.
It won't cross his mind at all that Sven-Göran Eriksson's up there in the stand thinking, Scorsese, don't get injured here in the last 10 minutes. The cup's won. Amazing attitude to playing, Paul Scholes. Here's Gary Neville, another, of course, the Sven squad. Fletcher. Ward won the header powerfully, only directing it to Roy Keane. Out for Manchester United through O'Shea. Giggs. Time for a few party pieces. Scholes. Lawrence wasn't sure. Ryan Giggs might have a goal for himself here, but he doesn't, because Ruud van Nistelrooy, he has done it again. It's 2 goals in an FA Cup game again for the 6th time for Ruud van Nistelrooy, and he's done it in the final.
How many times have we seen that finish from that man? In the end of again, Giggs. Yeah, I think he's been the pick of United players. Elijah Studio might disagree, but I think he's been the pick. There's a question, is he offside? Is he ahead of the ball? Every chance he might have been, but once it arrives at him, there isn't any doubt he's going to finish this.
Manchester United goal scored by number 10, Ruud van Nistelrooy.
Well, he plays those percentages, Ruud van Nistelrooy. And when the flag stays down, you're off and celebrating. And especially when it takes you to 30 goals for the season. He's had to deal with speculation. Spain might be a next port of call.
Well,
goes McCammon.
I guess the only question remaining is, can he get himself a cup final hat-trick?
Slewed away by Neville. Livermore. By the head of Brown. Cahill fouled by Ronaldo.
They had a little spat with each other about 30 seconds ago, where Ronaldo and Cahill got involved, a little bit of verbals, and that was just a little bit of retribution there. It's a foul, no doubt of that.
Manchester United have got Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Nicky Butt. Tops off, ready to make a cameo appearance apiece. Scholes trying to be the charger here. Sweeney trying to hold him off. He's waiting for the right moment. I feel Scholes did his job and was being fouled in the process by Peter Sweeney.
You very, very rarely get a chance to move it and hit it in the game now without being pressure on you. They're delaying it a bit because Gary Neville's got a problem, I think.
And it is Roy Carroll, if you see in the background. I steered you towards that one, and that tells you what a 3-0 lead can do.
Yeah, well, they're just waiting.
Make a hard manager.
Yeah,
a gracious.
There was
a sentimental man.
There was a time a couple of months ago when it looked like Roy Carroll would be the cup final goalkeeper if they got there. And Tim Howard fought his way back in.
It's almost a reward for keeping that clean sheet in the semi-final, keeping Arsenal out as Roy Carroll did. So we've got to sort out who's coming off. We know Tim Howard will be one of them.
But she said, Alex, I say to Gary Neville, you want to come off, make your mind up, because he's making his substitutions.
Darren Fletcher's gone. Nicky Butt, who's not figured much recently, but of course is another member of the England squad. Ronaldo gets his own personal ovation to allow Solskjaer on.
I suppose the unlucky one is Phil Neville.
Well, maybe that's why Gary didn't want to go. If Phil's not coming on.
Well, he might have done though, had he said, I'll go off then.
So all 3 permitted changes made in one go. And we had a goalkeeping substitution last season in the FA Cup final. Of course, Antti Niemi was injured and Paul Jones came on for Southampton. But there's no injury here. There's nothing that he's been asked to do that could possibly have injured him, Tim Howard. One of the quietest outings in FA Cup final for any goalkeeper.
Yeah, he might have done his back bending down to pick his towel up from behind the goal. That's about as far as it's gone, and it's probably the most active he's been.
Well, on we go after that was all sorted out. And Wise.
But what we've seen here is what we all thought, that the gap is a big one between Millwall and Manchester United. Manchester United brought a pretty good passing game with them today.
He was more worried at 2:30 as to whether his horse was going to win, running at Haydock in the 2:30. And he hasn't had too much to be concerned about as the match has unfolded, in truth. Brown. They've had an extra gear in every department. And I understand that horse did win. So he's had a pretty good day, the Manchester United manager. I think at the time he was more confident about this team winning the match than the racehorse delivering the goods.
Yeah, I think we all knew, and we didn't know, but we all thought that if Manchester United turned up business-like, meaning business, that they would win.
And Nistelrooy, Scholes didn't in the end want to hit it first time, as Van Nistelrooy was shaping to become only the fourth player ever to get a FA Cup final hat-trick. McCammon, that was an attempt to curl a shot or try and find Eichel with a cross.
It just arrived at Paul Scholes at the edge of the box a little awkwardly. I think it just sat kind of awkward. I think he wanted to hit it first time.
FA Cup final man of the match is Manchester United number 10.
Cardiff, the venue, of course, for the playoffs. Crystal Palace against West Ham next Saturday. Brighton against Bristol City Sunday. Huddersfield against Mansfield Monday. And you can see every kick of the ball on Sky Sports.
Well, the sponsors man of the match has been named. I don't agree with it, I have to say. Van Nistelrooy, obviously his 2 goals have influenced, but I think there have been better performances in red shirts than his.
Specifically?
Well, I think Giggs and Ronaldo for 2. Keane's bossed it, midfield, strode around like the player he is. Total control of everything.
Well, it's been perfect for Roy Keane, the tempo of the match.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
He'd have struggled in playing in the other side, wouldn't he? Having been short of action. He's not giving it up. Paul Eichel has done as well as anybody for Millwall. And it is the big question that really remains. Well, we are going to get a piece of history from Millwall. I was thinking of Van Nistelrooy and the hat-trick. Kogan. Wise. Livermore. Solskjaer having a hold of Wise. Quick free kick. Too quick. McCammon thought he was in for a moment of glory. But what is coming up now, sometimes you do sense history being made before your eyes. And Millwall are handing the baton from the senior member to the junior member, because Curtis Weston has only played 26 minutes in the last league game against Bradford at 17 years and 120 days old. You are seeing the arrival of the youngest ever player in an FA Cup final. From the youth team to the Millennium Stadium. And what will seem like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It hasn't been much more than that.
No.
Ward got a good touch. Highfield was nearly there. Well, he strove manfully, Dennis Wise, and his presence on the pitch was obviously important to his Millwall teammates, but it wasn't enough. Solskjaer, Scholes, Keane. Can they match that 4-0 of 10 years ago? Keane had a chance to do that.
He did, very much so. Still a hard taskmaster on himself, isn't he? Disappointment with the shot at the end. You think 3-0 and about to lift the trophy after these goals. You keep him happy. He wouldn't mind one himself. Ronaldo, and then a brace from this boy.
I guess Millwall fans will be saying, you know, did Livermore get a nick on the ball? Was Van Nistelrooy offside for the third goal? And you could debate both those points. But I don't think you can debate the justification of Manchester United very shortly going to collect the FA Cup. And many of you watching will say, well, so it should be. Richest club in the world. No club from as low as Millwall finished in Division 1 10th place has ever won the FA Cup in league football, although Tottenham fans would ask me to point out that they were a non-league club and they won the competition back in 1901. But today has panned out to be another chapter in the rich history of Manchester United in this competition.
It's lovely play. You see it in slow motion, the balance he's got, the little look, just feed it across. And Nistelrooy does the rest. Well, you almost feel that the name could have been etched on the trophy quite some time ago in this match, couldn't it?
And perhaps history will remember this season in this competition as the semi-final being the crucial game. The winners of that match at Villa Park. It stopped Arsenal breaking a record. It would have been their 4th consecutive final. It's allowed Manchester United to equal another Arsenal record of playing in the final for the 16th time. And Roy Keane still won't give it away. Highfield, who again deserves mention in dispatches for his persistence. But Keane has hurt himself, and Highfield's feeling it as well.
Yeah, just two players going in opposite directions really, and just catching each other. It can be awkward. You see as he goes across him there, and he just hangs at the leg there, and it'll be the left knee, or he might have just opened his groin. Roy Keane here, you watch this as he just left knee goes out, just gets caught there and lands quite hard.
Of course, it was 5 years ago, and he went off after 9 minutes, and they still got up the stairs to collect the cup. About 9 minutes time, I guess, when all the paraphernalia are putting everything out, podium out. He'll be asked to do the job again. It's not quite as difficult here as it was at Wembley in terms of the climb. It's quite a record, isn't it? Second player to reach 6 finals, and the first was right in the formative years. Arthur Kinnaird, who became Lord Kinnaird. Actually played 9 finals, 9 of the first 11, but there weren't many clubs competing for it then. Not the 640 or so that have been involved this time around. The Giants have been too strong for the Lions. Manchester United, FA Cup winners for the 11th time. They have extended their own record. They certainly extended Millwall here today. And Van Nistelrooy's two latish goals giving the scoreline probably a realistic look. Ray Wilkins and Dennis Wise had masterminded a plan that kept Millwall in it right until the last few moments before half-time, when Cristiano Ronaldo's header gave the expected tilt to the proceedings here, and Manchester United did not let it slip from that point. But let's not forget that simply reaching this occasion was a wonderful achievement for Millwall